Switching from the camera.
What? I'm so good!
He's now on silence in a 1v4. He takes 2. Down goes both. Can he stay alive? He downs another 1v1 on the Kento, and he wins it!
Clutch this round out for IF. He gets 2. That's the defeat. That's huge. Mikey, no, so
Oh my-
to drop. We're Subarctic is sprinting around desperately, and we're going to overtime.
Oh my God! Ashen! It's high noon. There's the 1v2 and 5-1-1/2 for Surf.
Long have we waited, and finally, we are here. I am Lynx, joined by Benny, and I'm proud to say we're on our way with the first day of the playoffs for Stage 2. Benny, I'm a little excited. Just a little bit, though.
Just
Not too much. Just a little bit.
I'm excited though. Yeah, just hey, get these games on board. It's we got our games going 2 best of 3s today that are just it's do or die here for the teams. They're in the last few stages, or last part of the stage, really. Playoffs. Win it here, lose it here, do your best.
I was about to say, I do think normally how leagues work is the playoffs is the last part. So I do think that is the same here. Obviously, we can go to Fermi for confirmation that the playoffs are in fact the last part of what we'll have in Stage 2. But he actually said in my ear it was the last part, like I wasn't just joking there. So
This is a battle royale after.
Fermi's still recovering from that booster shot, as we can all tell. As you want to take a look at some of the games, yesterday we started off with Gasher's Goons versus Team Mystic. Unfortunately for Gasher's Goons, who missed playoffs by just like 3 rounds, technically. They lost the first map 8-6, second map 8-7.
Yeah.
Very close for them, but Team Mystic came out on top.
It's a close couple of games, just little mistakes here and there. And then we had Aero Rise Academy versus West Garfield, finishing off our group stages, finishing off who's gonna be in playoffs. And it's West Garfield who won this match against Aero Academy.
Still can't believe that Fermi was like, yes, playoffs do end here. Like, you can tell he's in the zone right now just because he was like, oh, I need to confirm that. It's just funny to me. But as Benny said, West Garfield won out here, and they will be in our first matchup of the night. Though we will talk more about that later once we actually start talking about the matchup. But it will be Dallas Vendetta versus West Garfield Park. If you were not aware, now you know. That is the first game of the night, the one that you will see. And Benny, I have to say, I have not seen, or well, that's not true. I have seen, but I have not casted either of these teams in the main stage so far. So this is actually a new experience for me. I have watched them on the sidelines as a bystander. This will be the first time you and I actually get to talk over their gameplay live.
Last time we casted Dallas Vendetta, they were investigation files.
That is true. I have not casted them since they got picked up by the new org. Clearly, sometimes the new org stimmy does not hit until about a stage later. I think Wichita Wolves and KCP back in CL were definitely evidence of that fact, considering they got picked up and then they did way worse than they did before. This go around, Dallas Vendetta has not succumbed to that same fate, and let's see if they can continue their very solid run in SCS into the playoffs. You can see Dallas Vendetta versus West Garfield, one side of the bracket, Chess Club Wichita Wolves on the other. Then on the right side, we have One Shot Mystic and Carnico versus Wichita Wolves Academy. I feel like I can say with a reasonable degree of confidence, Benny, that Dallas Vendetta, One Shot, Wichita Wolves Academy. Probably the 3 teams we're all
One
looking
Shot
at.
last? It was One Shot Wichita Wolves Academy for our last one, right? Our
Yeah, it was
grand finals.
Yeah, Wichita Wolves Academy won.
So we
One Shot
can't
got
get to this
second.
time.
No, we will not get that this time. Also, it is a shame because I was gonna say probably a 4th team might honestly be Carnico, who I think have stunned a lot of us in how quickly they somehow managed to turn what seemed to be like an oil tanker in a puddle. If I was to analogize their team to something, they've just completely made an about face this go around. But they might get knocked out in the quarters by the returning champions. So that is unfortunate to see on that side of the bracket. But again, at least Benny and I don't have to worry about that for right now.
Oh yeah, no, that's for a later date. That's a later today actually, but that's not the point right now. We got our first match, Dallas Vendetta. But look at leaderboards first, as we talked about, as you saw yesterday. It's still pretty much the same as yesterday. I think too crazy though. I would think Bill's actually on top of survival when it was someone else yesterday.
No, yeah, it was Sod yesterday. But if by the way, if you also aren't aware,
these weren't
once
playoff
we
teams.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Once we get into the actual playoffs, we remove all of the players who are on teams that are no longer in the playoffs. So Saad, unfortunately, who technically does still have the highest survival rating at 52%, but he's not on a playoff team, so we don't care. Doesn't matter. However, even though a lot of those teams and a lot of those players have been taken off the board, it's still a lot similar to how it was before we did the removal. It was a lot of one-shot players, a lot of Karnico players, specifically Mikey and Zeno, couple Dallas Vendetta players, specifically Newers and Giddy was on there a little bit as well. So actually, it's not actually changed that much, funny enough.
No, not that different. You still got the, I think, yeah, Bill's really only top difference here, not having Saw on top of there, but really at Quartz is still 82%. We still have Barring having that one game where he went +6 was crazy. And then of course, Mikey, and when we talk about Karnico, they're already much like you said, about face, much different team. It's great to see them come together and really flesh out and be that great team. But it's unfortunate they're playing the stage 1 winners.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate, but I'm excited to see what Karnico can do in that matchup. But tonight, as we've said time and time again at this point, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. It's Dallas Vendetta versus West Garfield Park. For Dallas Vendetta, they too have managed a pretty large shift from where they were before. They were doing fairly solid, but they have just sped up the pace of their game in an almost insane fashion. By picking up Newers, it seemed like they were definitely going to get faster, but with the addition of Kento as well, it's still definitely the same team. You can see a lot of the same core parts, both in their roster and in their play, but they are far quicker and far more decisive than they were before, even in those close games like against Wichita Wolves Academy just a week or so ago. However, talking about that game in particular, they're still susceptible to some of that aggression that they were susceptible to when they were Investigation File, even without Newers and Kento. Wichita Wolves Academy had a couple maybe mistakes not been made, might have won that series 2-0 or 2-1, and Dallas Vendetta in all likelihood still would have made the playoffs, but would have been in a much different fashion and taken a little bit more time. So while they are looking not only a lot different, but definitely powered up and potentially at their peak form, their peak all-time form, they're going against West Garfield Park, who still play that kind of puggy play style with ex-pro talent on that roster, definitely could still fall and lose a lot of these rounds to that fact.
I definitely agree. It's gonna be interesting to see this because, like I said, West Garfield Park, they're a roster of tenured players, a roster that we all know. Well, maybe not all of us know Twist per se, but we've known at this point from like SI Quals. SI Quals when he played for the FPL Queens, it was ridiculous. This is a team of tenured players. We've seen them play time and time again, but as a team, are they up to the challenge to play against Dallas Vendetta? And the question is, will that puggy stack, that kind of aggression, be what proves to be the good point against Dallas Vendetta? And really, if anything, someone needs to stop Newers. Newers has been on a tear throughout this entire stage so far, and we've seen Forrest, we've seen Psychosis do well on entries, we've seen Forrest do well on kills. Will that be enough to stop Newers?
Newers has definitely, without question, been the standout performer on this roster. Highest rated by a wide margin, with Giddy just a little bit below. I will say, while Kento's been doing all right, I have been wanting a little bit more from him in this stage so far, especially because of the role he's been on. But it's compensated by the fact that, one, he's still doing okay, but Newers has just been doing so incredibly well in his new position on entry on Dallas Vendetta. For West Garfield Park, the only player you could possibly compare, sure, you have Twist and Psychosis, but it's got to be Forrest. Forrest has just been a ridiculous player for so long now, from Ape to Wichita Wolves to now on West Garfield Park. And sure, he might be returning to his pug stack roots, no org to back him, but he's still been performing out of his mind in SCS so far. And this is going to be the clash of the Titans in this game today. Newers versus Forrest. And I don't think anybody's going to be safe from when they start fighting.
Yeah, no, this is really going to be a team where we need to see players be able to stop Newers. And really, I think Forrest could be that Titan to do so. But again, it depends on how we go here and what maps we're going to, which are going to be Villa, Chalet, and Clubhouse. It's going to be interesting to see how they do here, really.
Yeah, for both these maps, West Garfield Park have been perfectly happy to play and pick Villa before. I believe Dallas Vendetta have played Chalet every single week in the 2 best-of-3s we saw, and while it was close against Wichita Wolves Academy and a little bit so against Achieve, they've looked comfortable on it, and their new aggressive pace has allowed them to take some maps and go and favor some maps that they haven't been able to before, and Chalet is one that they have definitely looked very good on. For club, for both these teams as well, leaving it up as the decider. Again, it's one West Garfield are comfortable on, but one where Dallas Vendetta could find a lot of weaknesses in West Garfield's play. It was one where in the very first week, they did end up losing it to Karnko, which, to be fair, we didn't know at the time that Karnko also were just looking really good. But there was still a lot there from West Garfield. Some discoordination in their play, which might be attributed to the fact that they're still kind of a puck stack. It's, you know, not entirely their fault. But for this map pool, both teams get a map that they definitely want, as you would like at a best of 3. And for the decider, again, it could be the same story, but might be leaning a little bit Dallas Vendetta.
Yeah, especially when it comes to Clubhouse, sir, there is not... You can still have some of that aggression, but it is more difficult to really do it on Clubhouse depending on the site. It looks like a lot of us on here are betting on Dallas Vendetta, and a few of us are, well, thinking that West Garfield Park are going to take it.
Yeah, I personally, again, I am buying a lot into the Dallas Vendetta hype with the pickups of Newers and Kento and how we've seen them perform even in those close games, like against Wichita Wolves Academy. I feel confident for them going against West Garfield Park. I think they can deal with the aggression that they're going to see. I think they can deal with some of the individual plays from, say, Forest or Twist, and especially because of Dallas Vendetta having a very good IGL structure and overall having very good team cohesion. I think they'll be able to shut down a lot of those individual plays and not really be hampered too much in their own plan because of that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's going to come... I really think that the fact of how organized they've been, sure, and now they're much quicker with Kento and Newers on the roster, it's going to prove to be really... It's going to see West Garfield Park here really try to prove something with their aggression. Don't just have baseless aggression without any real, meaning, intent, or utility behind it. You need to be able to prove that aggression and play together to stop Dallas Vendetta. But hey, Bill up first. This is going to be West Garfield map pick. And of course, it'll be on... Actually, no. Yeah, Dallas Vendetta will be on defense first, as per usual expect.
Yeah, this is a little bit interesting because before I would have most certainly said that, oh, we're going to Villa. I mean, this was when they were investigation file. This was their permaban for quite a long time. Yeah. Recently, maybe it's not entirely true. It seems like they've been okay to let this map slip a bit further into the ban phase. They still have not been eager to pick it, but it's not their permaban that it once was. So I'm interested to see if they've likely planned something here and anticipated this pick from West Garfield Park. With the first ban, though, Thatcher, not too surprising overall, and for Dallas Vendetta as well. So we're starting off on a pretty standard leg of things. The next up being the Nomad ban. This is one that... We have seen this, but not one I'd expect from West Garfield given their trend. Yeah, true. Like, I guess maybe because they're expecting to try and make more of that, that puggy aggression, maybe just trying to play that. Well, my ban next. We've seen my ban in response to Flores, but Flores isn't banned, so well, my still good though. You still want to try and deal with make those shields not nearly as powerful because we've seen shields. Well, on every map, really doesn't matter what map you're on. Shields are kind of the basis of a lot of defenses. And Valkyrie ban next, nothing too crazy. We'll leave mirror available, but again, depends on the kind of style of defense. I have to say, while they did ban Nomad yesterday against Aerial Academy, I would have expected, at least for me, for West Garfield to go with that Hibana ban against Dallas Vendetta, just because Dallas Vendetta usually like to, and they always have, before they were picked up, before Kanto News were on the roster, they love trying to go for that site, love trying to get that bomb down. And on Villa especially, Hibana can be a big plus if you're trying to open sites like Trophy Statuary, can make that job a lot easier. Now, at the same time, if West Garfield want to use Hibana, might as well get the Nomad off the board if you want to make use of her Kairos charges. We'll see a 6 pick by Forest from Jackal to the Finca, but this is still a lineup that I imagine that Dallas Vendetta aren't going to be quaking in their boots once they see, oh no, he didn't bring Jackal.
That's true as well. Let's see with the buck on the board. The Jackal would have been nice, but I think having the grenades and this Finca, you have the LMG, you got the ability to heal yourself and pick yourself back up. Kind of hard to pass up on that, and especially if we see West Garfield are much better on are good in their drones and good in their flank watch, it shouldn't be a problem to not bring Jackal. Dalveda's lineup isn't too crazy either. Shields, Electro Claws, smoke. Sure, there's no Tachanka like we see on the site, but otherwise not a crazy setup. The Rooney, of course, being laser gates stops from that projectiles, especially when Wamai's banned. Nothing too crazy here, and it's going to really improve, see on West Garfield, are they going to really be able to use that buck effectively to, get rid of these shields, get rid of that Electro Claws, get rid of the utility to open these walls up.
And it makes playing in positions like Vault a lot more difficult, and you also have some additional burn for those main stairs, which it appears that, based on some of their spawns, that West Garfield might be going for a main stairs. Clearly, we saw a couple players spawn over by 90, and I believe the rest did spawn over by the study side, so with the buck as well. have a lot of utility that they can dedicate over to this part of the map.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Now it's going to be really just showing them if they're going for that main stairs, if they're going for that bottom control, clearing out any roamers, pushing them back, like in Real. In Real, maybe just running around, maybe just trying to destroy drones and waste time for the moment. Maybe they're trying to stick around. But so far, it looks like Twist is going to push right in, and he should walk right into him and knife him in the face. Well, you probably weren't expecting someone straight in the face, but Twist will live to tell the tale.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Twist just got that kill. Still a bit of lackluster droning from West Garfield. We saw some drones come in earlier, but Twist maybe just assuming it's clear. Somebody called that Inrio was retreating and they didn't expect him to pull back.
Ooh.
But here's where things start to have a little bit of a butterfly effect come through. Because Inrio ends up getting knifed and Twist only goes to 1 HP, he now downs Newers inside of Vault. Giddy can easily pick him up, though, as that was Twist's final grenade, so he doesn't have to worry about another nade coming up from below until later on, which Psychosis could very well use. He's focusing more over to main stairs right now, trying to clear out that deployable shield, alongside Biologic playing down below with the Buck. Hasn't found anything just yet, but with the kill onto Inrio and damaging Newers as well, putting even a little bit of pressure on Kento is a win for the first half of the round.
I definitely agree. It's just a great start for West Garfield, but now we're going to see them really clear out this player main stairs, push back these defenders, even try to, destroy some of the utility, destroy the shields, push them back, though. Kento get pushed back. There should be some of the shotgun behind him, though, lying down the smoke. Can he get the second kill? It's a retrade. Vivid gets one, but Psychosis will be there to refrag.
And now Newers was picked back up from early on in the round. He's on low HP, and it's him and Giddy, the duo, who one was resurrected, the other the Resurrector, who are left in the 2v4. Giddy has a C4, so if he wants to maybe play it a little bit risky, he could drop down below and play for it, but he'll probably still sit on the site, hope that West Garfield go in for that plant so he can use his secondary utility to deny it. Newers has crept inside of Vault, but I think that red ping is actually on the player inside of Vault as opposed to the player 90, but now they know that Newers is there and on 1 HP. He's very easy fodder for Twist's L85. Never mind. Not only is he able to get that kill, Giddy strikes back very late in the round with only 30 seconds left with that angle, and Psychosis walks into Newers' crosshairs. We're gonna have a 2v4 to start out the first quarterfinal of playoffs. Might be a little bit ridiculous, but hell, I've seen crazier things happen. 15 seconds left. They know Forrest is inside of Study. Giddy will let some shots loose. Now that Newers and Giddy have coalesced around Bar, Forrest is going to struggle to find some kind of opening. He's got to hope they isolate themselves, where he can land a nasty pre-fire with this LMG. Just like that, Forrest. You got to do something even further, but he decides to stick the plant on 000. Giddy sends out the C4, and there it lands. The 2v4 from Dallas Vendetta. And I don't think any word describes it better than Vivid just did.
Yeah, that was a round where we saw such a great start from West Garfield Park, able to get the pick onto Inrio. He was, I guess that was kind of a lucky one per se, like Lynx was talking about, not quite the drone you want to see, but Twist will take that. He'll knife Inrio, get that first pick. They down Newers as well, put him on low HP, and they make that initial push where they push up the main stairs, getting both the smoke and the Jaeger. Sure, there was a trade by the smoke. Psychosis goes down, but you're still in a 4v2. And from that point, it would be, hey, getting control of, opening some walls and getting control of site. But having only the Habana, you can only opening so many holes. And so at that point, because that 90 control, Newers is able to neutralize that 90 control, 90 window player, because Twist is already low HP. And they hadn't really opened enough holes to really push through, not knowing only one player is inside of Vault. It became a kind of a game of trying to push through Classical, a game of peaks, push it through Classical. Nobody really went to an Aviator door, and it was Newers and Giddy taking fights from their entrenched positions, able to win one after another. So great job to to Newers and Giddy, but we need to see we need to see a bit of West Garfield Park able to really make those transitions.
Yeah, that was where it was most problematic when they actually did decide to slow down. Take a little bit slow, not get ahead of themselves. They ended up doing it anyway. So, ironic how that ended up turning out. Trophy Statuary, because they left that Hibana up, they can do a very good job of opening up that triple panel, but Dallas Vendetta have done that job for them. Opened up parts of the wall over inside a Trophy, and also opened up part of the wall inside Aviator Games to use one of Giddy's mirror windows. The other one, is he going to use it on that? I thought he was going to.
Maybe?
Yes, he is now. He reinforced the right side, and now he's doing
you
it.
see
Okay.
him, yeah. Okay. So he's doing it here, but there's a downstairs roam here from Dallas Vendetta. Of course, use those C4s from below later in the round if it comes to that point. And we'll see, of course, the first of West Garfield is to try and open up that single panel from pantry into kitchen. But of course, it's Mute Jam. So a grenade will come out, destroy the Mute Jammer. They'll open it up, but the player who was down there, which was Inrio, is already vacated. They hear the noise, they hear the X-Scouts coming off, and they're like, okay, that's enough utility to push me off of this position. I'm gonna leave. New Orleans is in a position maybe to push back in from red stairs, but so far at this point it should be a clear. New Orleans looking maybe see if he isn't droned or not. He's gonna get droned. He's gonna back off, see if he can get a pick, fall off at the moment. And this is some good clear so far from West Garfield. And now to use the utility to try, well, destroy these mute jammers, destroy these mirrors, and see if they can open that wall later in the round.
Continue firing through the floor. Believe they got all the necessary utility, but still just trying to see if maybe there's anybody playing on that wall. Send up another nade next to that bomb chassis. That was definitely trying to get a bead on Inrio to see where he had rotated to. But Inrio playing a little bit fast and loose right now. Maybe not fast and loose, just loose more than anything. But the nades finding not necessarily players, but definitely some solid utility for the defense right now. The shield inside of Astro destroyed. The utility, save for the mirror window on the triple panel, gone as well. Good utility usage from down below by West Garfield Park, and now they can start using these X-Kairos to open up the site with 1:10 remaining.
Yep, open up that tri-wall, start cutting off these players, push them back in certain positions. And it looks like at this point now, Dallas Vendetta have to find positions or find. Let's see if they can find any picks. Still 5v5, and a lot of these utilities being pushed out. Still one shield inside of Master that maybe can play off of bricks, but they've opened up the wall. And now with the first pick, though, is not actually, it's on the site. It's on the psychosis from Kento actually too. So that's a big pick there. And so far now, the question is, what can West Garfield do?
Well, it's made a little bit more problematic by the second kill of the round. Giddy cuts down Rudy inside of Master Bedroom, and West Garfield Park are struggling to find an entry into the site. Players from the defense can station themselves around corners, but it doesn't even matter. They start peeking in and around the site. They win all of their fights, and the second round is a flawless one for Dallas Vendetta. A far cry from the clutch in round one.
Yeah, despite the destruction of utility, destroying mute jammers, destroying shields, opening up walls, making sure those mirrors weren't going to be a problem. Despite all they had done here, they've opened the wall, they've done their job on the checklist, they've gotten the control they need in a sense. They push back these defenders, make sure nobody's roaming, make sure nobody's going to go for any crazy plays. And despite all that, it's Dallas Vendetta able to win the fights in the end. Using that, those long angles from Trophy, using just taking fights, whether it be an Astro, whether it be bricks, whether it be your Trophy or statuary, and winning every single one of them. So again, not much to talk about there because, again, despite all the angles you've created, you're still not able to come to the crucial parts, crucial junctions of winning those gunfights.
Dallas Vendetta able to win their two defenses, and nice to get a bit more of a decisive one on the board after the 2v4 in round number 1. They get to go down to kitchen, and they can win this. Start off with a nice little hat trick. The momentum they gain from a 2v4 and a flawless looking very good for the rest of their defensive half. Not trying to take too many chances. They'll run a pulse down below, help to gain intel on the extension up above, and also put Kento and Inrio likely on that roam with two different ways of intel denial. Of course, you have the Mozzie Pest, which can always make it a little bit difficult to actually drone out trophy or statuary. You could put that somewhere over in Aviator Games to make it more difficult as well, but I imagine Kento will be somewhere on that southern side of the map, either up or downstairs, causing a problem for West Garfield Park to deal with. And if we see maybe some shoddy droning like we saw by West Garfield, or some assumptions that areas are clear, it'll likely be Kento who punishes them for it.
Very true, because we saw some of that in the first round with Twist, so this is going to be really proved to see West Garfield are doing the basics, droning out, make sure they don't run into any unforeseen players that may ruin their early round. We'll see so far as Kento playing down in the living room, Inrio is playing 90th moment, just probably destroying drones, just making sure that intel is difficult to take. Not sure how long they'll stay on these drones per se, but if anything, just, destroy drones, make it difficult for them. It's Twist to be the first one in once again, running right through by himself for the moment. He's being droned in by Bio at least, but looks like he's trying to make an angle and see, because looks like they know somebody's inside the living room, so he's taking an angle down into the living room for the moment, see if he can cut off Kento.
There's a drone currently sitting at Kento's feet, but with the ERC activated. Kento has not revealed his position just yet, but West Garfield Park are not giving up. Kento will reveal his position, but taking a drone off the board might be a worthwhile sacrifice in this situation. But the net is slowly closing around Kento at the moment. Sitting inside a library, there's a player outside of the bathroom window. Psycho moving into library itself. They have intel directly on his position. There's one player from Dallas Vendetta who's joining him down below. He sends out a pre-fire to try to save himself, but there's Twist's angle from up above. We saw it 30 seconds earlier, and it comes to fruition with almost half the round gone.
Oh, Enrio trying to stay alive as well. He's being shot from the study area, but getting that pick onto Kento, that's good control now of living room. If they can further this push maybe into Memorial, flush out the forward player Memorial and push straight into dining, that could be a great start for West's Garfield. But anyway, with Enrio above, though, that could prove to be an issue if they go for his laundry control, because you can't leave that roam. Enrio, though, that first same player I was talking about, he's taking out Psychosis elsewhere. That's going to trade back to keep it even for the moment. And now with him still on the roam, maybe where are the flanks?
Enrio going for the spawn peek. We saw him try to do it last time, but here there's actually 2 players stationed on that side of the map, on the first floor, outside of the laundry doorway. Newers could still provide them with an issue. Never mind, he's dead. That one's my bad. But Forrest jumps on in. Now that they know that Master Bedroom is clear, he'll sprint on through, fast track that clear a little bit. But is it really fast? We've only got 40 seconds left. They've entered into laundry. A C4 sails over Twist's head just as he sends a nade through. But both secondary utility do the same amount of damage to either party, that being little to none that truly matter. 3v3 with 25 seconds remaining. Enrio stationed inside of Memorial. If Rudy jumps on in, which he will, could catch him off guard as it doesn't appear the ace is aware of the Mozzie's presence, playing close. There's the P10. Roni finally comes through, but Forrest is there to compensate. Vivid cuts his head off, and he pulls all the way back into living room. He knows Twist has to plant. He's got to either make a play, go for the frag, or put the bomb on the floor. Vivid will start sprinting on in, try to drive him off, but Twist will stick it. He could get it off at time. He could flick it up and take down the mute, but no, not this time. A 1v2 from Vivid, the second clutch for Dallas Vendetta, and they get 3 rounds in a row.
Oh, that was a close one there. Much better round compared to the second one at least, but it came down to, well, early round, great job on Kento. Great net, great way of cutting off Kento from getting away, because they knew he either leave through bicycle, leave through the hallway, or jump down the hatch. They had nets, they had plays, every single position to cut off Kento. Great first pick. But upstairs, Enrio going unread. Well, maybe not unread per se, but he's playing for the intel. He's able to catch Psychosis off guard. Keep it a 4v4. Newers gets one. They trade Newers out. They get rid of that person upstairs. So they have at least that control master better, making sure they can push into laundry. But from there, the problems comes to play. Despite opening up laundry, they rotate for Memorial control instead. So they have Forrest go from the main hallway, from red hallway in through that door. They have I think it was Forrest or boy, actually maybe Bio, who just walks in from that closet into Memorial. Unfortunately, they don't know Enrio's right there, sitting around the corner. He gets a pick. He does get traded out, but again, these picks back and forth, leaving it just keeping it close throughout the entire round, making a 1v1 at the end for West Garfield to try and clutch it at that point, because time's running out. You have to get the plant down, and from there the defense will gladly just at 0-0 take that.
Good time for a tactical timeout from West Garfield Park, even though they might not necessarily be on the best side. Defense on Villa usually has an easier time. No team plans on going down 0-3, especially once 2 of those rounds have been lost to a 2v4 and a 1v2 from Dallas Vendetta. Clearly some problem closing out those early rounds, specifically when it comes to that execute stage, both in getting to it in the late round and actually implementing it in the late round. They'll get their chance with 3 rounds gone, though, to try and see if they can implement those adjustments, as we'll see Dallas Vendetta go to all 3 of these sites again. First up is Aviator Games. They have changed things up, though, a little bit, Benny. Inrio has switched to the Mute, and Giddy is bringing out that Miro, which last time he played the Cades, so they're sacrificing some hard reach denial. They might have the Mute, but Mute chambers are typically a little bit easier to get than Cade Claw sometimes. With that mirror window, they could and likely will contest Study a lot more heavily with those black mirrors up. Also, might not see as much of a main stairs hold as you have those mirror windows to quickly retreat to. So if you lose that shield, you can probably pull back and still hold a very powerful position inside of the site. West Garfield, even though they got that opening pick, still looked a little bit shaky earlier on. This go around, the big problem here was that execute stage, and even if they get to it, that's where we need to see the adjustments made.
Yeah, last time they were able to get that first pick, take control main stairs, bit of a bloody walking up main stairs, but it was still a 3v3, but there they weren't able, 2v4. Let's 2v4 at that point, but they weren't able to really win those fights or really push past the main stairs or Study control that they had. again, that becomes that one side kind of push, that one dimensional push from them. They have to go for a different play. They need someone to make a misdirection in those, in those engagements. Oh, so we'll see now. It looks like they are looking to change things up. They're not going for main stairs this time. So there's the mirror on the board. They're going to focus more towards this north to south side coming from master bedroom, especially with mirror on the board. You're not bringing, bio on the buck. It can be lengthy to try and deal with those mirrors. So at this point, they're going to push from a different direction. And there are some setups, though. Dallas Vendetta, you see Kento already setting up for a red stairs hold. And we'll see. I don't think anybody's actually supporting him per se, though. So if somebody does come from below, they could pinch him out.
Yeah, that is the one worry right now, is Kento's playing a little bit by himself on this red stairs clear. You normally see someone playing Memorial and somebody playing Close Skull or Inside of Games to support him in this position. He might have the latter, but the former is lacking. If he dies to a nade, it won't matter. If the attack is able to successfully burn out these ADSs, he's a dead man before he can likely rotate off. They've already wasted all of Psycho's nades and spent a lot of those flashbangs, but the first kill, unfortunately, goes the way of Dallas Vendetta with a C4 and now some shots by Inrio. They've dominantly taken the lead with this red stairs hold remaining completely solid. Forrest just goes for the face check, the heads-up gunfight. He loses it. Now Rudy loses most of his HP to try to make up for the Jackal's failure. He now has to pull out, and it's only him and Psychosis left in the 2v5, and none, not even a single inch of Dallas Vendetta's hold has been pierced.
Yeah, at this point, Kento, we described maybe as issue him being by himself on red stairs, but he's got cover from, Inrio on this side. Giddy got a great C4 as well on the 90 control. So the fact that, Dallas Vendetta would work together, and wow, Psychosis jumps down thinking maybe he can come down the stairs, and he takes out by Rudy or by Kento, and then another player coming around and gets taken out. It's Rudy to be finished off there. And so really, yeah, Dallas Vendetta looked great on these defenses in West Garfield Park. Need to search for an answer.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Where Giddy got that C4 kill.
Pretty sure it was 90 window.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering. I knew it had to be somewhere over on that side. I just wasn't too sure.
I think I saw the diffuser was down at the bathroom window.
Well, that makes sense. If I was playing Lion, odds are he's probably 90 window watching the flank, but not really the flank, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
That obviously makes sense there. But then at that point, even though, sure, you've lost your player inside of 90, there's still nobody helping Kento down below. So Forrest is able to move into that position. But the timing seemed a little bit off from West Garfield. They had the util clear kind of down. Psychosis were able to get some nades in, but I wasn't sure if they both got caught by ADSs.
Nades got caught, actually.
That's what I was wondering, because they were sending in all sorts of utility, and I saw more flashes go off than nades, so I knew something was up. Yeah. They got messed up on that main stairs clear. That gave Inrio time to rotate into onto maps table and help out Kento. Then once they actually started taking fights, they caught West Garfield off guard.
Yeah, it just seemed like there was, unfortunately, the utility usage not quite coordinated there, not able to really nade out Kento. And then on top of that, when someone did try to flank him, like you're saying, just timing. Nobody was there to push off of that because they were losing members. They couldn't keep control of Skull, so someone could swing off that Skull door. It was a lack of utility clear compared to the first round, where they actually did pretty well in clearing utility and pushing players back, using the buck, using the grenades from below. But this time around, they weren't able to really do that, as they seem to be too focused on that red stairs clear, on trying to push out Kento, and not able to win those fights. But hey, 4 rounds in a row for Dallas Vendetta. Go back to Trophy and Statuary, and well, we have a different setup once again from them.
Yep. Trying to keep West Garfield Park on their toes, I suppose. See, Giddy, instead of the mirror, he goes for a castle this time, but still allows them to extend a little bit into master bedroom, inside a bathroom, but specifically, as I'm sure you saw, I believe we have a player playing inside a closet, Benny. Not something we see all too often. Saw Inrio in that position, so we'll see if he's there later on. Oh, he actually, he rotated out. Might have just been placing a mute jammer there. They're instead just pushing up into in a bathroom. That's good. Wait, is Inrio going to move there?
I don't know.
I don't think he is.
Maybe. They've got the castle barricades for it.
They only have a Jaeger. They should not be doing a closet hold.
True, yeah. I was gonna say usually you'd have the Y and the Jaeger to try and negate as much utility as possible per se. But from the side of West Garfield Park, the first start is of course gaining control AVG, gaining control 90, and then pushing through. There's not much of room here compared to the first time we saw this. Well, actually, no, even the first time wasn't much of room from Dallas Vendetta on this site. Really, they were all mainly on site, and even last time they attacked this site, West Garfield Park was able to push back on defenders and keep their contained on site, open a lot of walls, but it came down to very critical gunfights. And despite having the higher optics, the long ranges, and the open walls, they still lost those fights, every single one.
West Garfield Park are slowly creeping towards that site, going for a full clear this go around. They haven't been able to find anything yet. Ooh, Psychosis tagged down to low HP. This is what I was about to say. They've spent half of the round focused on full clearing the map, moving from Aviator Games on over, but they haven't paid a lot of attention to Master Bedroom. They're doing that now. Once they full clear the map, they're going for that rotation, and while there is a deployable shield on the bed, Newers is not playing behind it. It's now destroyed, so this position he's playing on bricks is a little bit more susceptible to, say, a grenade from Psychosis or from Rudy. I would say we'll see him pull off, but this is also Newers we're talking about. I would not be surprised if he tries to take a fight there. And we're also still sitting inside a Master Bedroom, but it's Psychosis the first to fall. Clearly hoping to peek Newers on that bricks doorway, but again, a little bit lacking when it comes to intel. The Frost catches them off guard in that position and continues wreaking havoc on the entire attack. Hits the prone and hip fires Forest. He'll hop down at that point as Vivid's the first one to fall and Newers the second on Dallas Vendetta, but neither finished off. Still chance for a flawless, though it wouldn't be a true one in this case. But if Rudy's unable to confirm a kill, might be 2 flawlesses on Trophy Statuary. But no, Giddy, he's confirmed. Vivid down as well. It's a 1v2 because of the efforts of the Finka earlier. Inrio's retaken Master Bedroom, and he has control of the diffuser. Kento as well have set up a crossfire on this angle, but they're only able to do the slightest amount of damage to Rudy. With intel on the Jaeger, he tries to flick, but Kento was quicker on the trigger. And 5 rounds in a row for Dallas Vendetta. Sure, it might be defense, but this is looking terrible for West Garfield, and it's their map pick.
Yeah, I don't care about being defense. It's been 5 rounds in a row, and there have been clearly rounds where West Garfield had an advantage and they're not able to transition to the execute, able to transition to closing out those rounds. But this round wasn't that. This was a round where that was mainly a push from the AVG side. We saw West Garfield take a lot of time in trying to clear out that side of the map. And then they finally started trying to take control of Master Bedroom with not much time on the board. And then from there, we saw them at that point, because it took so long, they really couldn't force that control of Master Bedroom, then try to force it away from that couch area into Statuary. And you saw right there, Newers, he went off entirely. He held that as the Frost perfectly, got 3 kills for it. And there goes the entire push from that side. And then from there, it's the only person to even make a difference was Rudy on the Finka to try and bring it back with the LMG. He gets 3 kills, sure, but the 1v2, time's running out. You don't have any intel. You gotta take fights with members who you don't know where they are. Walk into sight, lose that fight, and that's Dallas Vendetta 5 rounds in a row now.
I'll say both times that West Garfield Park have gotten the opening pick, they have almost won the round. Though both the times they won the opening duel, it came down to a 2v4 in round 1 and a 1v2 in round 3. Both times, both adjustments that Dallas Vendetta made, they played a little bit more further towards the site. They didn't give West Garfield that opportunity to get the first pick. On Kitchen, not the same. They're going back with that same strategy they did on their previous Kitchen defense. Obviously, we have the players extending up top, but specifically, I want to see where Kento's position is because he could still be playing off the site. There we go, same place. And that's where West Garfield were able to get their first opening. And sure, they lost it in the late round, but this is the setup that gave them that opening.
Yeah, and this is because we just saw Inrio barricading AVG, so there's no AVG control from Dallas Vendetta, so they can still create that same net if they want to. But it looks like, anyway, there actually is more focus on Master Bedroom first, as that is part of the site where you want to take control first. You want to get that Master Bedroom control, get that control statuary, and create that vertical pressure, because we didn't see that from West Garfield last time. The only thing they had was, well, the opening picks. Well, not opening picks, but they had the opening pick and then a couple more picks upstairs, which they cleared later on. And then they tried to convert that into Morial into sight without really having that vertical control. So this time, if they can get it earlier and then push those players at Morial, it could be an easier time. And already, Twist and Psychosis already inside Master Bedroom, already inside a bathroom. Already been a first pretty good clear.
And Newers pushed back because of that grenade. But, well, he's definitely aware that there might be some players pushing Astronomy momentarily. Twist will occupy himself with opening up those floorboards for the moment. Giddy on the pulse, try to send a pre-fire into Laundry, but they're just hitting the site. Am I watching a Mystic game right now by Forrest just moving on in with 1:35 left? How has this suddenly happened? Kento goes from the first to die to last alive in round number 6. 2 kills so far for Dallas Vendetta. Not all by Kento, but he doesn't know where any of these players are. They're getting the bomb down in sight, and Force is the only one to cover right now, as the other players haven't caught up, but it does not matter. And Benny, I think the Mystic comparison is apt, because they got 1 or 2 kills, and then suddenly they were getting the bomb down. I think we saw those plays yesterday.
that was a very similar story. At least in this regard, at least Dallas Vendetta, with Garfield, at least had that top look control. They at least pushed back those defenders. But yeah, then they get a pick. Giddy does get a return pick. Giddy actually got the opening pick, but it was then West Garfield to respond in kind, take two, rush through. I'm assuming they had drones because you saw they had intel on the players inside of Kitchen. So I'm assuming they had droned out that the players, there was nobody inside of Memorial. Despite later on when we saw Inreal play Memorial that other round, there was nobody there. So once they get the opening pick and they kill the player on site, well, at that point, you're just going to rush right in, take that control and all. Even during the Mystic game, Mystic did, sure, Mystic's plays in general were kind of crazy. But in that round specifically, they did make a good call when they got those two opening picks on the players in site.
Forrest got that second kill. He was like, I'm not stopping. I'm moving. I'm committing. And if I die, so be it. Very explosive final round of their attack. Shame it was the only one they managed to get. Again, if they just close out that 2v4, 1v2, we're at a perfect 3-3 half right now, so it's not like West Garfield have looked terrible for a good portion of this game. It's just their attacks slipped away from them sometimes. Going to the defense now, they will almost kind of combine philosophies that we saw from Dallas Vendetta. They'll go with part of a main stairs clear. That's why the smoke into Tachanka will obviously help with likely Twist playing on those main stairs. But they're also bringing a Mira this go round, whereas Dallas Vendetta kind of just went with a main stairs hold. Then they brought the Mira and focused more over towards main stairs, with the Mira windows obviously focusing on the site. West Garfield to give themselves a couple different options right now. With Psychosis also on Vigil just running around the map. That's just kind of like, the outlier to my analogy.
It's a cherry on top.
I suppose. Unless he dies first.
That is true. If he dies first, that's a different story. But hey, with the Tachanka, the smoke, the mirrors, they have a lot of different options to both stop a main stairs push, to stop a vault door plant. Psychosis running around. I believe I saw Twist on red stairs as well. So there's many different angles West Garfield are taking for this push. Of course, they'll probably adopt and change their setup when we see Dallas Vendetta make their push. But so far, yeah, it looks like there may be a main stairs for them in the books. Bio by himself at the moment sitting there, but they've got smokes, they've got shoemaker grenades, they've got Cinder, and they also have those angles from above, like you see right here from that game side down to main stairs. So we need to see probably some Dallas Vendetta, someone at least, or maybe a duo, go for a misdirection and catch somebody off guard on West Garfield to make sure that they aren't focusing so much on this main stairs if that is a push.
Well, it'll take some more time to drone out this position. There's still the vertical angles they have to worry about. Rudy with his Shumika lineup, making it very difficult to push up those stairs. The util clear is successful. They destroy the shield, they burn a toxic canister from Bio, and he's moved all the way back inside of Bar. So the actual physical presence on main stairs is now clear. They obviously have to drone it out, but they can start moving up into there and into study while, of course, being wary of those mirror windows. First nade goes out, but Bio is elevated himself onto the pool table, Forrest joining him as well. But now Dallas Vendetta stomp up those main stairs.
So they have control of main stairs. The mirror's here though, so study control is going to be a bit difficult. It's also a mirror watching Classical as well to make sure they don't get, flanked or caught off guard as they do push this. Nua is trying to destroy that mirror window. It looks like that the Shumika launcher grenade goes right in front of it for whatever reason. But so far, they're trying to make sure that they can't push through Classical. They can't get that angle onto the players in games, because look at this is kind of the base right now for these players is playing inside of games, as Rudy and them are trying to push through and shoot back on them players, try to take control of study at the moment.
First bit of damage comes through, discounting the slight amount of damage Rudy suffered earlier, both Forrest and Vivid. One on the entry, the other holding down the site. Will take about half their health gone. And it's only 30 seconds left. Dallas Vendetta are in a position where they could be struggling when it comes to site entry because of these 3 Shumiki grenades, these 2 toxic canisters, and the C4 that Rudy, Bio, and Forrest still have. Now with Twist getting active, he gets a kill. Bio peeks on out, cementing West Garfield's man advantage going into the final 15 seconds. They take out some necessary utility, but the Black Mirror still rear their ugly head. Now Vivid and Inrio have to rethink the situation, and Inrio can't come up with a solution in time. West Garfield Park hold down the fort for the good majority of that round and keep a solid lead throughout.
Yep, I was a round where we saw Bio waste time on that main stairs, just holding it down with the shield. He pulls back once they start throwing grenades, destroy the shield. And then from there, sure, you have main stairs control, but without another play, they're gonna sit behind the mirror. See the mirror was facing towards study, sit behind the mirror facing towards Classical, use those Shumika grenades, use those smokes to just waste more and more time. As you saw, that time was ticking all the way towards the end, and by the time they even got to a push, it was 30 seconds left. It was a 5v5. In the you have to force your way through. You have to try and force your way through Aviator Door, force your way through Classical, get these gunfights. Sure, there was trades. It was close in a sense when it came to man count in the end, but you're still no time left trying to take those fights, trying to take that control. And I think Inrio was coming from a misdirection, coming from maybe red stairs or maybe from 90 window or something like that. He was trying to go for a different play, but there's no time left for it. And there was still, at that point, West Garfield just sitting there waiting for the kills, and they got most of them. They kept that control and stopped Dallas Vendetta in the tracks. And now, with that first round, are we still having those time issues with Dallas Vendetta?
There was so much denial stacked against them coming up from West Garfield. I can understand it a little bit. So many Shimiki grenades that Rudy did a really good job at placing out properly. Bio also didn't get too liberal with his smoke usage on main stairs, heavily relying on Rudy for support. I just think that West Garfield played the utility game perfectly there when it came to stalling at Dallas Vendetta. And of course, Dallas Vendetta can still sometimes be a little bit slow, but it was really compounded by the play coming out from West Garfield. You don't have to worry about it here too much. There might be a couple C4s, but there's only the smoke. It's mainly upfront utility you have to worry about, maybe the ADSs, but specifically those Electro Claws coming out from Forest. And with Dallas Vendetta bringing a Maverick, getting that downstairs control will be imperative so that he doesn't get C4'd from below when he goes to open up that wall.
Yeah, well, it's interesting to see Dallas Vendetta not bringing Hibana, despite we talking about it a lot in the pre-show. Hibana's been thrown to the wayside by Dallas Vendetta. So the Maverick, like you said, going below, making sure they can't get C4'd or to see Rudy downstairs. He doesn't have a C4 in hand, but looks like he's trying to make it difficult for Dallas Vendetta to take this control per se. Just walking around, making sure Dallas Vendetta does their due diligence. Drones out the bottom floor. Kento's gonna be the first one in the laundry, and with this control now, we should see them. They control main stair or master bedroom, and they go for the wall. But with half this wall, part of this wall open per se, can you really even go to work on this wall? Would you even want to?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is with part of that wall open, you really want to go Mavic? Probably not. You're gonna have Forest swing you, so not the best idea, unfortunately. There are still players down below who could go for that C4, so it's still important to go for it if you want to later on in the round. Just maybe not to Mav open that wall. The focus right now will be nading Forest off of that position, which just might have been successful for the moment, but he'll retake that spot, as the Cade often plays on this triple panel. With it opened up, half of the round is now gone. Dallas Vendetta still looking for some kind of solution, but Giddy might just have one.
Oh, we say that Kento has a take on Forest. There's a solution to stop the player, and he's in. Like, you know, Rudy takes his place. He swings the hole, trying to find someone maybe walking in the walk-in closet. Another grenade. Wow. Kento with 2 grenades in the round. Both players in statuary taken down. Unfortunate timing. I thought it was unfortunate Kento, but Kento will take a third with the rifle.
That is so sad from Twist. I mean, that could have been it right there. Never mind. Bio had something completely different in store. But unfortunately, Newer's hitting the back, going for the misdirection, as Benny said, or wanted Inrio to do last round. He did it this time, and he gets the final 2 kills. Sad to see that if Twist had gotten that kill on Kento, combined with Bio's 2K, we would have been at an even 2v2, and maybe a win for West Garfield. Now it's match point for Dallas Vendetta.
That was crazy, though. Kento below, sitting with the grenade. He gets 2 kills with both of his grenades. It's the fact that he denied statuary control just from sitting below. And well, ADSs can't help you there because they come from below. You can't stop that from happening. And on top of that, able to stop Twist from flanking him as well. Whew, 3K, great job to Kento playing below. And then really that kind of leads to the fact that West Garfield playing for that, you know, that not trying to fight for that bottom control whatsoever. Sure, Rudy was there in the beginning, but he just pulled off immediately, allowing for Dallas Vendetta to do whatever they want on that bottom floor. And then from there, it's just sure Bio gets 2 picks and bricks. Great job to Bio. Great job to who was it? Who was it? The player who got kills them with him?
Who got kills with Bio?
Yeah, it was Bio and Psychosis. We're trying to bring it back at least in some sense.
It was pretty much just Bio. I think he was the only one who actually. I think it was just the only. He was the only one that got kills.
That's unfortunate because Bio was trying to play.
Twist tried to bring it back, but he whiffed the gunfight. Unfortunately.
Yeah. He had the surprise too. Yeah. Kento was running through China, and he's just there, and he walks in and goes, "Oh, I got you," and Kento still wins that fight.
That was a bit of a misplay, unfortunately. Still, a lot of time was wasted by the strategy from West Garfield. Of course, if Kento is able to hit those nades again, not looking great. Maybe place a bit more of an emphasis downstairs. As I saw Psycho there earlier, I'm not.
Rudy was there too. They just left immediately once they heard like people walking in.
I was about to say I'm not sure what happened, but definitely the solution might just be holding on to that a little bit more fervently. Because when Psycho got those nades, I was like, huh? Are there not people?
And then Rudy walks in and gets hit by a grenade too, and it's like, well.
Oh, no, this time for a completely different take.
Trying it again, yeah, completely different take. And the question is going to be now just on match point. Well, Dude's just walk right in, and he's going to take fire from the person's at AVG, but they're pulling back already once again.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about the quick and early master bedroom presence from Dallas Vendetta. So now actually rotating back early onto the site, you know, maybe giving up some of that kitchen pressure. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It's not required, as the attack is going to have to go to master bedroom at some point. So it's perfectly fine. That you still have, okay, well, I didn't expect Rudy to go all the way to the basement, but it's fine. Still move up pantry stairs, I believe he's doing right now, and join Psychosis, who I actually think has now moved to the top floor. So they have given up downstairs control. Nope, never mind. There are, bro. This is just a rotating cast of characters who are playing this downstairs position.
And it's just because they force a C4 as well, so they're probably going to have to clear him sooner or later. Vivid taking heavy damage, pushing towards that master bedroom side, but he wins the fight. Takes down Twist. That's big on pushing control, taking that control in master bedroom. Now Kento's going to see if he can bait out somebody from West Garfield to push up at stairs. Otherwise, because then again, if they don't push out these players, those C4s could be what kills them. But again, it could become gunfights. But C4 goes off, doesn't get a kill, does give an angle at least though.
It does give him an angle for him to watch, does reveal his position downstairs. Rudy currently on the flank. His role might become of heavy and critical importance if West Garfield Park want to win this map. It's just a 5v3. He's got to make a play as Forrest angle down below created by that C4 finds a whole lot of nothing, but they might have both forgotten about the Frost and the Mute as Bio's weathering the storm in sight. Finally, the flank comes through. Newers gets one, but Bio does a hell of a lot of damage. There's Forrest. He cuts down the Finca and pulls back out of the site. 40 seconds left, and Rio will take note of that Frost mat, so good he doesn't walk into one. And the dead 1v1. He has the diffuser, and he still has one EE1D. Forrest is in the site, so it's not as useful as if he were off of it, but he still might be able to catch Forrest off guard with that primary gadget. He'll reveal his position by shooting the default. Now the Mute is stuck for just a couple seconds, but it doesn't do much for Inrio because he still doesn't know the Mute's position. He's inside a bore right now. But does Inrio know? I don't think he does. Forrest has info on the plant as well. Inrio's going to stick, but no, he falls off. Instead, he doesn't get away with it. Forrest now, he has plenty of time. There's no time for Inrio to fall off. He can't find the player. He might have enough time to pop off and kill the Mute. Can he do it? 50 bullets is surely enough for a pre-fire, but it's Forrest who Lady Luck favored today. He staves off defeat. We're 6-3 right now, but still a hill to climb for West Garfield Park.
Oh, that was scary, but that was a round where it seemed like, you know, at start it seemed like, you know, West Garfield weren't again roaming too much, so they get pulled back. You know, they were somewhat roaming towards AVG. At the sign of pressure, they pull back towards site. Not too crazy. Then you have people downstairs waiting for maybe that plant. You have a C4 from below, like from Forest. But rather than, you know, he throws the C4 early, doesn't get a pick. And from there, Dallas then send it into sight. They start taking those fights. Vivid opens up at master bedroom side, kills Twist. Another kill on top of that. That's compounding kills, getting that control over master bedroom. That forces Bio. That forces Bio and Forrest are taking action. And it was Bio doing great work with that DMR, push back in master bedroom, take out those players, force the other DB players coming from couch side to force their presence in and win those and try to win those fights. Bring into a 1v1 between Forrest and Inrio. And with 40 seconds, you have some time to figure things out, but without intel, without drones to do so, it's kind of just looking around, trying to figure things out, trying to bait out Forrest in that instance, and he can only do so much. He tries to go for a plant, but there's active intel in his position. Forrest just has to make noise, pull off the plant, and just force him to try and relocate, thinking that where's a safe plant spot. And in the end, it could have been a round where Inrio won that, because he actually got the plant down, and Forrest almost walked in the statuary not knowing his presence, but he's able to back off, re-engage, and win that fight. And keep them alive, because yeah, that's what they need one round.
For Aviator Games, West Garfield Park did a damn good job stalling out time with the smoke and the Tachanka. They give up the smoke, oddly enough. But it was the Tachanka who did the majority of the legwork, so it's not like, it's not like they're giving up the most important part of their setup. Plus, they have an additional C4 as a result, and Bio can play a similar position as he did in that main stairs hold. He just doesn't have the toxic canisters this go around, but he still got that shotgun, still got that SMG-11, and they still have those Shimmy grenades to waste time over on that side of the map. And right now, Dallas Vendetta looking like they're going to try to not replicate the previous one, maybe build off the things they did well.
Yeah, I think... Oh, wow, that was... Bad, man, they're back to being investigation files. But either way, I think big thing was Bio on that buck in the first round was pretty big, actually, because bringing the mirror, having a buck, so now we see Newers on the buck. He can go below and try to stop both the shields, the mirrors, get rid of a lot of utility that Wes Garfield still had going into the end of that round. Because really, sure, they were able to take main control of the stairs, they will take control of the main stairs, take control sort of there, but they hadn't cleared a lot of utility. With the buck in hand, with the grenades having first floor control, they could really kill out these players, even maybe get a kill, unless, well, Forrest kills them.
Well, Forrest does not land the shots just yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Still plenty of time for Dallas Vendetta to storm up these main stairs. It's what they do. They throw a C4 over. I don't actually know what... I think... Oh, it got stuck on the main stairs. Kento punishes Bio for that misplay with the secondary utility, even though it cost a lot of his own life to make that play happen. It was also a little worse for wear, but they have this main stairs control at about the same time they did previously. But here we go, Benny. There's Forrest, the man you said missed his shots. He's evened it up 4-4, and now they don't have to worry about that pressure from below.
Yep, and there's still things in the way. They still can't open these walls either because the mute jammers are there. With the mute jammers there, they have to try and throw grenades over if they have any grenades left. I believe Kento has one, so they have one grenade to try and work off of to destroy these mute jammers and try and get these walls open. Because otherwise, if they can't get the walls open, if they can't really deal with these mirrors, especially with Newers gone, that's still an issue. Otherwise, someone has to make a misdirection play. Someone has to go from a different direction. Maybe Vivid 90 can catch someone off guard per se. Otherwise, we're sitting in this play. Twist playing 90 is in a great position to try and deal with these Exkyros on the wall, but he's been flashed, so maybe not.
And that 90 control will certainly be difficult for Twist if he wants to creep up books and make a play. Right now, Vivid will mainly be passive, and that's a little bit of the worry right now. He's the man with the diffuser, and there's not exactly a lot of time left for him to, say, repel in the building. If Twist is still in that area, he will go off and maybe join Kento and the rest of his team over by main stairs. But again, not to emphasize so soon after, it's 20 seconds left. Rudy using the remaining amount of his Shumika grenades to burn even more time, and Forrest still has a C4. Psychosis can take fights in Vault and on top of Red Stairs. Dallas Vendetta are succumbing to the same thing they did previously. If it's able to fight back for just a second, but both players suffer a hell of a lot of damage, the C4 might fail, but Forrest's aim rings true, and with 1 HP, Dallas Vendetta will not win it here. Wes Garfield inched closer to overtime.
Once again, it's the issues. Only focusing mainly on, well, main stairs. Taking, well, sure, this time they're able to at least push it in a faster motion, at least get that kill onto Bio. Great first start. But then losing Newers on the buck to Forrest, you lose that soft breach from below. You lose the ability to deal with, well, the one of the mirrors to get dealt with by X-Kairos, but you still have that main mirror watching from games into Aviator. That is the main mirror that is big. And on top of that, the mute jammers are still there too. So not only can you not deal with the mirror on the Aviator wall, you can't open up the game zone either. And then once again, we're in the same predicament. Somebody needs to go for a misdirection play. Someone needs to go for a play from a different direction to throw Wes Garfield off. And once again, not saying nobody did it, but it was too late. We saw Giddy go for it in the last 20 seconds. And because we had players still watching from the mirror for Aviator side, Psychosis can playing from Skull, deals with Giddy, stops entirely, and from that point, Dallas Vendetta are rushing into Aviator right in front of the mirror. Forrest plays it perfectly, plays on the mirror, deals with every single other player walking through that doorway. It's game over from Dallas Vendetta. And Wes Garfield only need 2 more rounds. 2 more.
Yep, just 2 more rounds West Garfield need. Seems like just a little bit ago was a 5-1 half. Quickly, even after a round loss, Dallas Vendetta won it. But now West Garfield are getting a little bit tricky. Getting a little bit crafty with Dallas Vendetta. Maybe not as much here. Not doing anything wild. They're running a similar pulse setup as Dallas Vendetta did. Not in terms of the operator lineup, but just in terms of the composition and what we can expect from some of these positions. All right, this is a... I've not seen this one before. Not saying he just invented it. I just haven't I haven't actually seen anybody do that before, so we'll see if that works. I don't think it will, only because nobody's going to run in front of it.
Maybe a sledge. If they were to go open that wall, Giddy might fall prey to it, but I don't believe he's going that direction in the first place, so I don't think he's going to fall for it. But either way, we'll see what Dallas Vendetta does on this defense. First time West Garfield have defended this site. Doesn't look too crazy compared to, Dallas Vendetta's defense. But we'll see if they go for that main, the top floor control, where Dallas was in there at first. West Garfield at first didn't go for that control. Actually, it looks like they're doing a similar play. They're going for that living room control, and there's one player once again playing for that roam. He's going to fall off, and there's no cutoff for Bio instead of what we saw with Kento.
They do successfully push the Malusi back very early on, though, and that is a success in and of itself, even though it might not be a complete 100% compared to if they'd actually maybe cut off Bio or killed him while he was dropping. It's still a 5v5. They've got some of that horizontal map control. But Benny, again, they're going for a little bit of a one-dimensional play right now. It's only a minute 20 in, so there's plenty of time for things to change. But they're only focusing on living room library right now, which can be very difficult if West Garfield play a little bit reserved and don't give you those opportunity for picks, or if they do, if they end up winning it. The one player who was upstairs, that was in Rio, he's cut down by a player on the roam.
Bio's holding off on Brown Stairs, trying to stop that push into China if it is going to be that horizontal push. Giddy watching for anybody rotating, but yeah, at this point, West Garfield, I probably understand what the play is going to be. Mainly in the first floor, it's going to be keeping control of Laundry, but hey, Force goes down to Newers. Is that going to be an opening to push farther in? It doesn't seem like so far. Nobody's acting on that kill.
Oh, Giddy just, look at this. He just starts face-checking basement. Rudy's been sitting down there the entire time, but Newers is the saving grace with 1 HP. He gets his second kill, and now they do actually have an opening because it's a 3v2 on the site.
Oh, no.
There might be a pulse, but with Rudy down below, well, unfortunately, he catches the Hibana off guard, wall bangs Vivid as he hops into Bicycle, and
That's
everything
diffuser.
Newers created now is gone. That is Diffuser as well, and right as Kento goes to pick it back up, that's when Newers with 15 kills falls silent in this round, and Psychos peeks around a corner. We're 1 round away from overtime. West Garfield, the comeback is just right within their grasp.
I wouldn't expect it 5-1 halves, but we're on the crisp of having 2 5-1 halves. And yeah, Newers, you are different. You are the saving grace for the round for Dallas Vendetta, because otherwise Dallas Vendetta, sure, they'd push Bio off of that roam inside the living room, but from there Inrio was off by himself trying to take control of that top floor. He gets picked off, and then from there it's waiting on Dallas Vendetta to make a move. It was Newers who was opening things up, getting the pick for his team, the first pick for his team, and then following it up, prodding over, trying to figure out what other areas he can find those picks. He gets one after another, allows the team to get in, but the problem is, because he's the spearhead per se, some members are lagging behind, like Vivid with the Diffuser. So unfortunately, he walks into the Bicycle. Someone isn't aware of Rudy still playing the red stairs. He gets picked off, drops the Diffuser inside a Bicycle. Someone's got to retrieve that Diffuser. You got to go back and get it. And Psychosis still playing Laundry because they didn't fully clear the entire site. So he throws the C4, takes out Newers. It's now down to, I believe it was Kento at that point, or actually I don't remember who the last player was, but it's up to them to try and bring it back in a 1v3. So really, Dallas Vendetta, some of these attacks, the question is, what's the intent? Where's the you need to do more than just one thing.
The nice thing for Dallas Vendetta here, though, they got to go to Trophy Statuary. They've sure won it once and lost it once, but the time they won it was very strongly in their favor, though it was built mainly off of Kento's nades down below. Also, well, somehow able to turn on Twist, that too. But it still came down to a 1v1 on the second attempt as well, where Inrio very narrowly got the plant off 2 separate times. One time, got a little scared, understandably. The other time, actually, he did get the plants off. But again, time was so low, Force was able to kill him as he came up. But both times, these Trophy Statuary attacks have been very close. The thing they will change up here, they place Inrio on the Flores, with Psychosis on the Goyo, and Rudy bringing shields, as all of those factors, though mainly the shields, have been a consistent element of West Garfield's lineup, sometimes less so than other times. bringing that Flores will be very important, not only to destroy those shields if they want to, but also to take down maybe those mute jammers on the triple panel. You don't have to worry about, say, going down below and playing for the nades like they did last time. If they're able to work a Rotero drone in, somehow dodge mute jammers placed on doorways, or time it properly as they go into explode, and then destroy the mute jammer if they time it correctly, it could bypass a lot of that utility game, lengthy utility game, they needed to do on their previous trophy attacks.
Maybe this time they want us to go for that same attack they did the first time where they won it, where they had control of kitchen dining. We saw that second time around. Well, Dallas Vendetta went for AVG instead. You know, for AVG control, and Rudy jumps right out. We've seen this jump out before. This time he had solid intel to jump out, ping the player, jumps out to 90 window, and gets that pick. I think last time was it Splash who did that?
I think we saw Splash do it yesterday, but it was over by main door, and it also didn't work.
I know we've seen that work. Was it Force who did it before that, maybe? I know we've seen it work before. I can't remember who did it.
Benny, I've been casting Villa for about 2 years. I've seen that work a few times.
Hey, well, this time maybe they're focusing it downstairs, though. Kento trying to make his way back into dining and kitchen like he did before. Maybe use those grenades to deal with utility and try and stop those players. And Statuary, Newer is in a great place.
Right.
Great pings off that player. He's just not aware. Twist not aware of that position as he's being caught out. And so these roamers on the downstairs are being foiled, so far at least, one.
Oh, Benny, the other might just be foiled right here. A drone comes around the corner, but Psychosis, right as it spots him, starts moving back down. Knows that Kento is not too far behind as the Yana lets a couple shots rip through that wall. Psychosis sends some in turn saying, I know you're there. You know I'm here. Let's just go our separate ways and not worry too much. But there's Rudy being the problem maker in this game so far. He's 2 kills, both on the two of the nade operators for Dallas Vendetta. They still have 4, but that was your presence down below. Vivid's not going down there, and if Newers does, he'll probably be alone.
Yeah, with the dwindling manpower for Dallas Vendetta. This is now at this point you have to try and figure things out as a team, as you don't have the manpower per se to try and allocate people downstairs. But I say Viewers is still down there, maybe waiting for a chance to try and spring on an unsuspecting defender. At this point, yeah, they're just trying to clear up master bedroom, push in, maybe open this wall and push straight through and try to find some picks on some players. Of course, they use with Terra drones to destroy some utility, get rid of some of the shields. So at this point, just destroy Shield Astro, make it easier.
Well, Psychosis's cover is exploded in a beautiful fashion. And the Rotero drone comes around the corner. It's not able to blow up as Psychosis puts a bullet in it before it can find anything. All the Rotero drones, they meet varying impact. The Flores himself almost makes the man count even, but Forrest ducks his head back around the corner before the Flores can strike. Doesn't have any flashbangs, so burning that Aruni gate was out of the question, but he gets caught off guard by the Goyo holding a close angle on that doorway. 2v4, Vivid and Newers. Newers has been doing so well. He's got 2 nades, but not enough time to use them. With one around the corner of the statue, Newers gets hit with the oldest position in the book, the oldest trick. Now Forrest cleans it up. Overtime, dual 5-1 halves. And what better way to start map number 1 of the playoffs?
Woo! 5-1 halves both teams. Still, that means it's largely defender sided here for Villa, which isn't too crazy per se, but it's been ridiculous. In that round entirely, again, we saw a push there from, players downstairs, but Rudy went, he jumped out of 90 window, gets the first pick onto Giddy, and then goes unread. Sure, Twist gets picked off in red hallway, but he goes unread inside the pantry. Gets a second pick, and that's both of your grenade, actually, well, 2 of 3 of your grenade operators already off the board. And we saw the round they did win on that site, they relied on grenades from below, relied on Kento to get those picks. So without the grenades, sure, there were Terra drones trying to deal with utility, but not winning those crucial gunfights in the end and in the beginning of the round. Just unfortunately, Dallas Vendetta couldn't take it, and they are on the defense, they're on the attacker side for overtime. So this could be West Garfield take this map away from Dallas Vendetta.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Of course, it is West Garfield's map pick, so they are fighting tooth and nail for what is always, in theory, should be expected as their win. They get the advantage of both the defense and also going to Aviator Games, which so far has seemed impregnable for West Garfield Park, and something that Dallas Vendetta have struggled to find an exact opening in. They've tried main stairs multiple times now, and they've had success insofar as they've taken main stairs, cleared it out, and moved up towards study. But beyond that, their attacks have been very one-dimensional and have struggled to find an entry point. beyond that initial main stairs clear. Perhaps we'll see Dallas Vendetta switch things up. We'll see a gridlock brought out, so I'm intrigued to see what Inrio decides to do with that, but I think the solution here might be to start varying up the take a little bit because main stairs has not been successful.
Not only since their map pick, Dallas Vendetta picked attack on overtime. Interesting. I guess maybe just more comfortable on attack per se. Hard to say. But that is interesting to see them pick that rather than pick defense on the overtime, since it is West Garfield map pick. But either way, like you said, I need to see some varying up. We need to see someone go for a different play, a different angle earlier in the round. We've seen Dallas Vendetta send people in different directions later in the round, but it comes down to the last like 20 seconds when they're doing that. Giddy walking red stairs, like no time left. Inrio going up a certain play, but a grenade will start us off. Downing Psychosis to the bottom astral stairs. So hopefully they can at least deal with one of these roamers so far, because West Garfield haven't really roamed.
No, they've had some loose roamers, and now Dallas Vendetta capitalize on that fact. Right as Psychosis goes to escape, Giddy sends in a nade, and nobody's in a position to pick Psychosis back up. They might not be able to finish him off, but in all likelihood, he's not getting picked back up. They'll confirm him, and well, Newer's actually holding the flank down below. Don't know if he catches Twist going over to revive Psychosis. I doubt that, but he does catch Twist moving around. So if you were looking for an opening in terms of kills as opposed to positioning, Dallas Vendetta have found it on their first attack in overtime.
Oh, and now they're going to try and push farther into 90. At least there's a mirror window for us to play behind for this eventual classical push. But so far now, if they have this control, can they get rid of some of these mute jammers, some of these other utility on the side of the defense, open up these walls? Or otherwise, like we talked about, we can't make it one-dimensional. Someone at that point needs to go to study and create some kind of havoc. It looks like Newers will be on that for the moment. It looks like he's on the rappel droning for his team, but they need to destroy some of these, mirrors are more important than anything. This mirror facing Aviator was a death sentence for a lot of these teams, and if they go for his vault plant, they're not gonna be able to do it with ultra shuriken grenades and the mirror there.
Yeah, that's my big concern. Now they haven't gone for their main stairs clear for no fault of their own. Rudy has stocked up all of those Shumiki grenades, and there are also 2 C4s for the defense right now. Going for this vault plant will be precarious, and they need to bait out the secondary utility as much as they can before they send it on in. They send out a smoke canister to bait out some utility for that fact. They'll do a second, and Rudy unleashes a bunch of hellfire through, but Forrest just pre-fires. He doesn't care whatsoever, and he domes the planter, and now diffusers dropped inside of the site. Rudy will continue layering on that utility. Kento tries to hit it from the back, but Forrest reads into him, stops that play before it can even happen. Enrio, he goes in, picks the bomb back up. C4. All those Shumika grenades burnt. He's sticking it, but there's the C4. It's all been burnt, but all the damage has been done. They have to go for the kills, and Newers has to cover specifically while going for those frags. Yet he gets the bomb down successfully, and Newers on the coverage. His guardian angel, he gets a triple, and he can't... Yeah, never mind. Thought Bio might be able to land the shots, but Newers is better. A 4K for their first attack, and now they get to go to the defense and maybe win this one out.
Woo, that was a close round there. But again, big thing was getting those opening picks, getting Twist and Psychosis early in the round, giving them that dividend, giving them that lead going into execute. Because at that point, like let's talk about, we had the bait out utility, try and get that plant down. You saw how many bodies they lost on trying to, one, deal with that game's control, because you saw that you saw one player just try to walk in to games and stop those players. You saw multiple players try to plant the diffuser and get cut down. So at that point, it was good that they were in the man advantage for that situation. And of course, Newers getting inside of study, having that cut off so the person in vault can't swing on the person planting behind the vault or vault door. And especially at that point, they were out of utility to stop the planter. Big on him at that point. Maybe at the point, maybe have the player like Bio go towards Skull instead, knowing that the cutoff is inside of study could have been a difference there. Hard to say, but it definitely seems like there may be some late round decisions that weren't quite great from West Garfield. And now they're on attack.
We'll see how their Aviator Games attacks look. We had a solid one up until the 2v4 from Gideon Newers in round 1, but round number 4 was a flawless attempt from Dallas Vendetta, running the strategy that they are implementing right now. They focused more on red stairs, more over towards trophy statuary, not directly inside, but trying to stop the push from coming in that area. And West Garfield were not really able to find much ground because rotated downstairs a little bit too late. They didn't capitalize off that quick enough, and also Dallas Vendetta were getting active inside of the site, taking those fights, and they weren't able to put enough pressure up above because they were losing those gunfights from Dallas Vendetta. Here, I want to see what kind of take they go for. Ooh, they're going for the same one, Benny. Will they get tripped up like they did last time?
If they can use Twitch drone well and deal with these mirrors, it could be a different story. They're not bringing the buck this time. Nobody's been bringing the buck anymore, so they'll need to find a way to deal with the mirror. We saw how powerful it was for West Garfield, though it didn't turn out the way they wanted to. We still seen how well that mirror can be for these defense teams. Big thing here, of course, red stairs, like you're talking about. They need to be able to deal with Kento. He has no support for the moment, so they should be able to pinch him out and either kill him or push him back towards sites. We'll see so far as forces bring out those Twitch drones, looking to try and cause some havoc, destroy some utility, as the rest of West Garfield are pushing from that north to south side, gaining control of above red, and see if they can try and deal with Kento.
Biological start layering some X-Kairos, opening up some angles over towards that red stairs position, holding the top. Forrest is downstairs right now, but he's all the way over towards Art, so we'll see if he ends up being that downstairs pressure that Kento will have to deal with. The utility clear comes through. This is where things started to trip up West Garfield, and it's the frags that do it. Kento gets aggressive. He crests the top of the stairs, and right as Inrio starts firing, he does too. Both Twist and Psychosis. 4 of the nades for the attack gone in a matter of seconds. Rudy, he has only 1 left. It might not even matter. Newers cuts down Forrest down below. He can hold all the way down by the bottom of main stairs, and what are Bio and Rudy to do? This nade has to land, but even then, there's still so much work to do, but it all starts with a single step. It blows up, and Kento is done. Off the record. Now they're pushing up. There's a deployable shield in Rudy's way. There's no utility to deal with it. He has a Gone 6. Never mind. He can destroy it, but now it's wraps. They can't destroy any more of this bulletproof utility, and it cost Rudy half of his HP in order to make it happen. Bio 2 made worse for wear. Enreal holding the drone hole inside a vault. Can't land the shots, but his teammates are doing enough for right now. Bio will send out some more X-Kairos to try to open up part of this wall, but Benny, it's looking like this might be it.
I totally agree. It should be it right here because the utility's still there. We still have a C4 in the hands of Giddy. They still have the mirror to watch from Aviator side towards, or from Gaze to Aviator. And there's a player still in study to play off of that open mirror. And there's the head. Pokes out Newers, takes a bit of damage, but still alive. Still plays area. Rudy gets taken down by Inrio, and now it's down to Bio in a 1v4. This should be the game right here. Smoke comes out, stops him pushing through. He knows one's behind the bar, but there's only so much he can do here. He's trying to find a pick of anything, but there it is. Newers will finish him off.
Hell of a play by Dallas Vendetta in that overtime. But that win on attack wasn't necessarily sealed, but that was a very convincing win to start out overtime, and going to the defense might have just been easy at that point. Dallas Vendetta, unfortunately, not able to adapt to that red stairs hold, or maybe just adapt to what Dallas and Vendetta decided to do in that round, which was peek them. Shout out to Newers, by the way, dropping 22 kills in that map. If you want to point to a single individual effort as to who might have aided in that victory, there you go. I gave you the answer.
Somebody's got to stop Newers. I said it.
You did say it. You did say it.
He is insane. But really, yeah, it just seemed like, especially on that round, not adapting to Dallas Vendetta, but also like the fact that last time Kento had just kind of let them screw up their own utility usage. This time he peeks it instead. He's like, no, I'm not gonna let you just throw flashes at me. I'm gonna take the fight. I'm gonna kill you before you even throw them.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily complacency by West Garfield. That's not the best word, but just, let's start going for our util clear. It's one of those times. It's kind of like, I feel like always in CS when Stewie started pushing through smokes, he took advantage of that kind of like that general philosophy, like, oh, nobody's pushing through a smoke. When you go to the util clear, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go for that util clear. What are the odds they push? Their goal is to hold down that position, and then Kento's like, dead now. That was it. That's all he had to do. Then, of course, there was Inro playing Skull. The coordination between the players on Dallas Vendetta was really on point during that go. But that is map 1 over and done with. Before we go, of course, I want to thank one of our sponsors, Mike and Ike's. We always start with them. We always start with the candy. That was my request because I love food. I love eating. And I love things that taste sweet. And Mike and Ike's has you covered if you want to go for the original or the Mega Mix. Or if you're like Benny, who wants something that's kind of sweet but a little more tart. Kind of like the... it's like the meme where it's like there's like Doge and he's like kind of the normal dog, but then there's the one that's like super buff. That's like the original in the Mega Mix, which is like good, but it's a little bit calmer, versus the sour one, which will beat you up and take your lunch money if you don't if you don't give it enough room. So thank you to Mike and Ike's as always for sponsoring the stream. I want to be honest, Benny, I I kind of just did the Doge thing like 15 seconds before. I was like, oh wait, that's a good analogy. I'll do that. I did not plan that one.
I don't know, I feel like a lot of times you don't plan it. You just wing it, and it works out a lot of times.
I mean, there are times when I'm like, oh, that'd be funny. You know, I'll bring that up. That was one where I was like, oh, this actually works with where I'm going with this. So I'll just, throw that one. Put a little seasoning on that. But we'll see if West Garfield are as seasoned as their roster makes them out to be. Might have X-Pro talent, but they might be out of the playoffs before they even really got started. We have map 2 coming up after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Have to get aggressive. Reed's looking for it, and Hill got it.
Have to push for the kill. Have to kill the Maluski.
Transfers on 1-3. What a passion! It's high noon. There's the 1v2 and 5-1-half for serve.
The government has acknowledged professional video gamers as athletes.
The crowd, everyone's cheering the team on, you make friends, these are people you talk to, you play with online. It's all about community, it's being part of something that you're incredibly passionate about.
Aggressive. Reed's looking for it, and Hill got it.
Have to push for the kill. Have to kill the Maluski.
Transfers on 1-3. What a passion! It's high noon. There's the 1v2 and 5-1-half for serve.
Welcome back, everybody. If you missed it, map number 1 was an incredibly close affair between Dallas Vendetta and West Garfield Park, but Dallas Vendetta ended up taking the win on their opponent's map pick. Can they close it out 2-0 here? I am Lynx, joined by Benny. And if you're Benny or I, we obviously think yes, since we predicted them.
Yeah, let's say we think they're going to take it, obviously. But that was a game where it could have been anybody's game. It was interesting to see, especially because when Dallas Vendetta would go on to the overtime, and as it's not their map pick, they can choose the overtime side. They chose attack, and I was questioning as it was a 5-1 defense half for both teams. But they proved us wrong by winning that first attack and then propelling themselves to win the second defense on that overtime half.
Yeah, especially on that final overtime attack that we saw from Dallas Vendetta, really putting on full display. I don't even know necessarily the adaptability, I suppose. Just able to make the most of a bad situation, I think, with what Dallas Vendetta were able to do throughout the course of that round. Then, of course, in their defenses, they were obviously looking very solid. But West Garfield Park still threw up a lot of obstacles, mainly on the roam, that could sometimes get the best of Dallas Vendetta at times. Rudy, especially towards the latter half of West Garfield's defenses, really made it difficult for Dallas Vendetta clear, and they seem to succumb to it. And that's something that could certainly happen on Chalet or Club if we get there.
Yeah, there were times where Rudy popped off on the attack, or not attack, they were on the roam. We saw Bio at times too often proved to be some of that time on that anchor on site to stop them. But more than anything, there's like I said before, there was nobody really, I'm gonna say nobody, but there was a lot of times where Newers was able to find a weakness and take full advantage on that, both attacking and defense. So it's that, again, like I said before, someone needs to stop Newers. Stop him doing that. He went 22-9 for God's sakes.
Yeah, Newers was, I mean, without question, obviously, numerically and qualitatively as well, the standout and defining player in map number 1, Dallas Vendetta. Can he continue the trend here? It's not like he was carrying. Sure, he was doing a lot of the legwork, but Kento was certainly showing up. The rest of Dallas Vendetta were having pretty solid games throughout. If all of them start heating up, it might be over for West Garfield Park, but I'm sure they still have some fight left in them. We have map 2 underway right now on Chalet, Dallas Vendetta. They'll start on the defense. West Garfield will start on the attack. So actually, the exact same as we just saw in Villa.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Of course, you see West Garfield Park going to pick the preferred side historically on Chalet. And the bans, what are they going to be? I'm assuming Thatcher, Flores, Mira, Valkyrie.
Benny started just trying to predict the entire ban phase. This was not like a thing that we planned. He just started doing it.
Started doing it.
So, I mean, you're wrong, unfortunately. It is a Thatcher ban. You said Thatcher, but there we go. I just kind of said you're wrong preemptively just because I had a feeling.
Yeah,
it would be Thatcher Nomad from both these teams, but maybe it'll be the exact same ban phases we had last time as West Garfield banned Wamai. Perhaps it'll be Valkyrie again, just like we had on Villa.
Yeah, I'll say Mirrors isn't totally crazy on Chalet. There's definitely specific spots you can put the mirror, but it's nothing too crazy to deal with. And with Valkyrie, ban next, nothing too crazy. It's to be the same ban phase as before, and it makes sense. We already talked about Nomad for that, for the roams, for those players to really go for those flanks. Valkyrie cams, you don't want to deal with that. And Wamai, just make it easier to deal with those shields and those shield setups.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that Wamai anymore, and that does mean that Flores, an operator you thought would be banned, he does have a lot more impact now, because those Rotero drones could obviously, they don't care about ADSs, but the Rotero drones, you can make a lot better use of them. You can also combine it with the Gone 6s, with the frag grenades. So I suppose it's not Flores who is empowered, but it's the overall util clear from the attack that could involve, and given that it's Chalet, it might very well involve a Flores. It's not necessary, of course. West Garfield obviously showing they are fine not to run it right now, but still a heavy amount of util clear. They have the Yana, the Sledge, and the Zofia, with the Zero as well for a little bit of added spice.
Yeah, we have seen Zero here and there, but I've not seen it always do. That laser doesn't really do the most work. It's most just there for intel per se. So we'll see how West Garfield uses per se, but we're going to actually go downstairs at kitchen and dining first for our defensive Dallas Vendetta. Usually they start by that games bar site, because usually considered the better site. But we'll see what happens here, as it's going to be see that roam on the top floor, and we'll need to see West Garfield deal with this roam on the top floor, get on those windows, and create those cutoffs. If they got those picks early in the round, it's usually pretty good for the attack. Usually that's what you want to do.
You have to say, I do not see Zero all too often, which is a shame. I just like playing him. That's mainly why. Not like any actual reason. I just like playing Zero. Yes, exactly. His gun's good. He's got an MP7, which I still think is kind of weird, but it's whatever. It's beside the point. He also has those hard breach charges, Benny, which you call can openers, and I still resent that.
You started calling that too.
I did start slipping into it every now and then. Oh, wow. That, given the breach charge changes that happened a while ago, Video was positioned a little further away from that window. Might have died, in all honesty, but he was accounting for this very situation where the castle barricade on the bedroom window is opened up quick, and he might be able to get a sneaky kill there. Doesn't happen, though, so.
Nobody's there just yet, but it is important though, because that big window control is huge. Having those windows open, creating those cutoffs is big for this roam clear. So if he can get a pick and deny that big window control, or at least reduce it per se, or delay that big window control, it'll be big for his team, as they're going to open up, see West Garfield Park open up that wall into office, start to create those angles into that master bedroom, start pushing those defenders back. And we'll see if they can actually cut them off, or maybe just push them back towards Solarium and push them back towards site.
Oh, Kento. He's not spotted by that drone, but he shoots it, so they know he's there. Twist with one nade remaining might send one in over towards Kento, but he takes the entry engagement instead, but it's Psychosis who comes away the victor in that case. Giddy somehow dodges the Giannis bullets and trades it out onto Forrest. Honestly amazing that Giddy just somehow came away with that, but maybe he overstays his welcome. Inrio's there to back him up, but he's already taken a lot of damage from that breach charge early on. He's put even lower. He plays his life and pays for it. Now Vivid and Newers down below. They may be expected to be in this kind of situation, but it's a little bit early on than they might like. Somehow West Garfield full clear the top, and now they have free range to open up these floors.
Where did that explosion come from? Is that the window? Oh yeah, Murray's at the window. Okay, that was confused me. He's just standing at the wall, and all of a sudden the wall's open. Like what the heck? But with that control now, they should be able to open the floor because of course they still have. Well, they actually no, they don't have any breach charges either, do they? So they can't actually create any vertical pressure onto these defenders. Vivid's gone below to the basement, so Newers is the only one on site. Well, it's Newers, so maybe leaving him on site is fine because you can expect Newers to win his fights. So now with Vivid below, maybe he could try to actually see 4 in hand. But either way, if he can get a flank on someone, if they don't drone him out and he flanks up those west main stairs, he could prove to be an issue for his eventual push.
Still yet to see that push come through from West Garfield Park. 20 seconds left. Newers has an angle on the player, vaulting in through Trophy. He gets that kill, as to be expected. Somebody peeks the rotate, and ooh, he doesn't land the shots, and that could be important. Newers very well could have ended the round right there, but maybe not, because Psychosis got the last 2 kills. That was the only player who evaded Newers' sight line. The attack comes away with some nice effort by Psychosis in the final 20 seconds.
Yeah, big thing there is the roam clear went well. It didn't go great, it didn't go perfect, but it still was well. They still came out the man advantage. They got the kills they needed to trade it out where it was. Of you saw at the beginning, we saw Kento swing per se, maybe not expecting 2 players to be in his purview. He try to shoot at 1, but Psychosis is there to make sure Giddy doesn't die. But eventually, unfortunately, Giddy does die, losing your sledge, which does help in a sense, because they're trading out kills, they go into the execute, and they don't have the utility to create that vertical control. So it could be big, the fact that, well, not Giddy, I think it was Twist actually dies, but either way, the Twist, you lose that sledge, you don't have the vertical control, you go into the execute, and there it could have been a place where if, Newers is able to place position and Vivid is able to get that flank off, that could have been around, because Newers gets the first down. He's then trying to take a fight with Habana next, and if Vivid is able to get the flank with Psychosis, that could have been right there, but Psychosis, he does a great job. He starts with Vivid, then kills Newers, end of the round. West Garfield are up 1. Not too crazy to see, but now we're going to the basement.
A basement can sometimes be a little bit of a difficult site to defend. You have to worry heavily about that roam up top if you want to succeed on this defensive site. If you just want to stick and set all 5 down below, the attack has to do a little bit of work. If they want to take from wine, they actually have to clear out that blue hallway. But they don't really have to do much more beyond that. You need to hold dining if you can, and that's what Inrio's job will be, and Newers might very well join him, or a couple other players might.
Yeah, it looks like they're stepping stock as well upstairs in bar and games. So definitely there's a roam here. We've seen these kind of roams from teams like Aqualix back in the day. Not totally the same extent. There's not the so full court press, but there still is a presence from many of the defense members upstairs on the first floor, both from Inrio and Newers. So it'll be interesting to see if West Garfield do try to take a chance to clear them out. We already see Psychosis drawing things out, using that dribble play to find a player. Did he see Newers in the corner of bar? Oh, what I know is he shot.
Okay. Well, he certainly knows now. Newers might just be playing his life in this position, just trying to waste as much time as possible before he's taken down. The hatch above him is opened up, but he drops down and runs down those stairs pretty soon after. They actually opened up a rotate in that bar wall, so drops down actually was the accurate verbiage there.
Oh.
Forrest, ooh, yes, this is a nasty cutoff. He's worked his way down to the bottom of West Main, and never mind, Inrio, not knowing the 0 is there, just like Kento did on the last map, somehow gets the better of a West Garfield player.
Speaking of Kento, he's upstairs 2 on the second floor. Newers taking heavy damage, but wins the fight against Psychosis. So down goes another player. One of the grenades that you may need. So far, it seems like there's a bit of a poking product from West Garfield, trying to find some players to kill, not focusing too much on the site just yet. But now they're going to work. They're trying to open the floor inside a garage, and it looks like maybe garage will be the point of entry to get this plant down. But with them down 2 players in the man disadvantage, Can they still even make this happen? Grenade comes down, destroy the electrical car. They should be able to get the garage open. We still have Kento upstairs and Inrio over by Trophy.
Ooh, the first nade was accidentally burned by the Aruna Gate, but they get the Cade Claw down in time, and Giddy's not holding one in his pocket. So this garage wall is getting opened up. They don't have to worry about maybe a little bit of a snafu with that utility. Inrio still has top floor control, and he's on 1 HP. Wes Garfield isn't exactly inclined to give this up. Rudy might be looking. He might, but oh no, he's not at all aware. How does this keep happening? Rudy just reacts in time, but there's Kento to bring it back. He's able to play alongside the Vigil. Now Twist, it's all on his shoulders. Round number 2, but Vivid gets the better of him. A 2K formed to round it out, and Dallas Vendetta win it out.
Great job to Dallas Vendetta, and that was a round where we saw a bit of a run from them. We had people like Inrio playing instead of dining. We had Kento upstairs. We had another player in Newers playing out by stock. West Garfield had set most of their intent on clearing the roam. They spent most of the round trying to clear out Newers, which they did. They pushed Newers back. But Newers gets a pick. Inrio gets a pick as well onto the 0 of Forest, who seemingly was watching that flank, but still lost the fight. So that's 2 picks early in the round for Dallas Vendetta. And from that point forward, because they had put so much focus on the roam, they hadn't any real control of going towards, that wine cellar side where you usually see teams go for the execute. And so they go for maybe garage instead. They open up the floor in the main lobby and fireplace. They get rid of the electrical claw, though it did take them 2 grenades. And then from there, they open the wall up. But because they never cleared the roam, Inrio's still running around. Kento's still upstairs. They start flanking. And that forces then Dallas and West Garfield to try and push on the site and try and win those fights on site on the anchors. And well, that didn't go too well. It leads them down, unfortunately, to lose those fights. Members get flanked. Twist is left alone to try and bring it back. And he can't get any kills. Loses that fight. Now we have Dallas Vendetta taking their first defense win on that bottom floor site. We go back to kitchen and dining for our next site for Dallas Vendetta, where it was that roam game unfortunately didn't go well for Dallas Vendetta. They weren't able to get anything off the roam. Sure, they wasted some time. They leave it to Newers and Vivid to try and bring it back, which it could have happened, but 2v3.
Maybe.
They're all pushing one side taking those fights, and they weren't able to unfortunately able to win those fights in the end.
No. Bringing a mirror this go around could aid the hold up top, make it a little bit easier. Oh,
that's scary.
I was about to say, just gonna give it like a couple seconds. Okay, I think we're all good. We weren't able to see the game started for a little bit, and that makes Benny and I very afraid. Don't like it. So, okay.
Yep.
I was about to say, so we are actually lagging. I was about to say we'll probably have a rehost, I would guess. So. We'll get all that sorted, as I think it was a lobby-wide thing. Servers just decided to die on us. And Benny, that was just as you got done talking with the round.
Yeah, I was about to say, we just started.
After we got done with a good portion of what we could have stalled with. There we go. It's the way it goes sometimes. I mean, we saw a little bit of what Dallas Vendetta were doing. As I mentioned, they were bringing that mirror, which I don't believe they brought previously, Benny. I didn't think they did. So that is one adjustment they're making to help with that top floor clear. So Rome gets cleared out as aggressively as it did by West Garfield. They can play behind those black mirrors for safety. I would have liked to see how it play out, but we'll have to wait a little bit, unfortunately.
I guess the question is going to be, where can they put the mirrors? Because those mirrors are going to be interesting because there's a lot of windows and a lot of different angles you can find on those mirrors. Maybe put it in Solarium, but Solarium you can go from the windows. Maybe put it from that little corner, that couch area inside master bedroom facing towards maybe office per se.
Playing heavily on that top floor is always difficult just because of how powerful that bedroom window can be. We didn't see anybody from West Garfield putting an emphasis on there early on, but you can bet they probably will at some point in the round once they go for that clear, especially if they're, say, have all 5 bodies on the board, which, excuse me, they started their roam clear last time. They had all 5 bodies, though it's kind of traded out a little bit. They'll probably put someone in that bedroom window, and then we're at that problem. Where do you place those mirror windows, and where do they play off of? Because you can see so much from that window. Maybe they'll just place them really heavy into office and go that way. But in terms of bedroom, I don't know how viable it is.
I could think like, because remember last time we had Kento playing the black wall, right? The black wall into bathroom. Maybe placing it in closet to face towards piano, so there's 2 different angles on that section. Because remember last time he did swing, and there were 2 players, both Psychosis and Twist, facing him. So maybe having one in closet to help out for that play, but again, that's not really much of an angle though, so I'm not sure if that's even viable per se. I know there are mirrors, you can put mirrors in office facing that book's hallway. That has been done before, but on a roam per se, do you want to extend that far?
Well, it's also the question of how far is the attack going to clear. If say West Garfield just want to go for a dining take, they might only clear out office and then just try and keep it contained to that side, because on kitchen dining, you don't necessarily need to go for a full clear. You want to go for dining, you clear out piano and office. If you want to go for a kitchen take, you more so just have to clear out kind of solarium and bedroom, and then you're good from there. Now, West Garfield obviously went for a full clear anyway, because you're West Garfield. Why not? You're feeling yourself, just go for it. But if they are just going to go for a kitchen dining play and they put emphasis on piano early on, maybe all you need is a mirror window to stall enough time where even if it falls, going for it is a little less likely.
Could be, yeah. Just waste more time. Even they're eventually going to clear it because it's chalet for you. You're going to clear that roam. It's expected. It's just wasting more time because in the end, they still have a lot of time to deal with those anchors. And especially if you can kill that sledge once again and leave them that much soft breaching utilities to open the floor, that could prove to be a much better, anchor play later on in the round. But we'll see.
I would love to see, personally.
I love to watch the game.
I would love to see. We are, I do believe we have 9 players in the lobby. So I believe we're waiting on one final member of West Garfield Park. Not gonna leak who it is. Not gonna at them publicly. I actually think we right as I said that, we did get all 10 players in the lobby. So getting back into it. Of course, if you don't know the rehost rules, same ops, same site. So Benny and I aren't gonna have to scratch everything we just talked about. Thankfully. Can you imagine if actually after a rehost you could just run a different site and different ops?
That would be that would be annoying per se, especially when you're partway through the round and when they do the rehost and partway through the prep round, you're like, oh, we're gonna do this, and then the team has to throw that straight out the window.
It's also one of those alternate worlds. You're like, what if this? It's one of those what ifs that just doesn't make any sense. There'd be no reason to not have that rule.
Oh yeah, that would be kind of crazy if they allowed them to do that. But hey, we're back in kitchen dining. You see the mirror once again, and the question is gonna be, where are they gonna place these mirrors, and how are they going to be able to this time to slow them down? Because West Garfield last time, well, you saw Psychosis, you saw Twist. They pushed in so quickly into piano. They were just pushing a straight fight. Sure, it was bloody. Sure, it was somewhat close in a 3v2 at the end there. But they gained control pretty quickly and then allowed them to push transition onto site pretty well, pretty smoothly.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Just going to give it 5 seconds.
Oh, from to say that the server sucks.
All right, we're all good. I'm assuming we're all good. I'm not gonna call it completely. Still plenty of time for us to get a fandangled, but I think we're okay. Again, as we said, same ops, same lineup. Vivid's doing site reconstruction right now, but I want to see where he ends up placing those mirror windows. I imagine Benny, maybe he'll place one down below, the one up above. I doubt he'll dedicate both to the roam. Of course, I always say that. What do I know? He can do whatever he wants. He's playing. I'm not. I can't make him do it. But DM Vivid right now and be like, put the mirror window on dining wall.
You say that, but where would you put one on site though? Maybe in trophy facing towards that west main stairs would be the only place I could really think of.
I suppose you could place them both up top.
Yeah, because in the end, the roam is the most important part.
It's up to you.
It's up to you, yeah. It's up to Dallas Vendetta. But so far, Force bringing the Twitch this time around, maybe to try and deal with those mirrors. They did see them brought out. We'll see how they do here. We did see one placed inside of office facing towards the book's hallway, like I talked about. So they do have some initial way to stop the push. Like we saw from West Garfield, they control the hallway very quick and they pushed both Psychosis and Twist through it. So this time around, they have something to at least mitigate it or at least delay that eventual push. Second mirror, I have no clue where it's at. It looks like they are at least below trying to deal with this mirror because you can just open it from below. You can just open it from dining side, from fireplace below, and open below to stop that mirror. So that mirror is not going to do much work, but still, it's still time wasted.
Yeah, good reaction by West Garfield to deal with that first mirror window inside of office, especially because of how much they have emphasized this side of the map. It's good to see them deal with it so quickly. There is still the Electroclaw, of course, that they have to worry about, and that has not been dealt with yet, but Twist's aggressive position not nearly as viable here this go around. Still trying to find some success. Forrest will send a Twitch drone up. Maybe he might find an angle onto that electric claws. They have opened up the floor, and no, they do. There we go. Walls opened up.
Easy peasy. Walls open. Second mirror is, where is it actually? I don't see it even on the board. So I don't know where they placed that second mirror, where it's going to help out, but the last time with big step was walking the piano and Kento swinging and losing that fight. So far this side, it looks like they're trying to more focus on a dining execute compared to pushing the trophy into kitchen. To this point, having just like Link was talking about, you can just clear out office and this play can still work, but it will come to gunfights and see if you can clear out these defenders on site. Grenade comes out, Vivid takes some damage, and there's Newers. Down he goes, a twist. That's not a great start, and now the rest of the defenders may have to spring.
Yeah, that's a C4 done and dusted as well. It's on Vivid right now to try to make it happen with the secondary utility, because if he doesn't, they'll have to take these gunfights, and that is just not a viable position, especially where Dallas Vendetta are right now. It goes over, and nobody's there to shoot it out of the air. Well, they are. Maybe they missed the shots. There's still 28 seconds left, and both Vivid and the rest of Dallas Vendetta, save for Inrio, looking worse for wear. Kento, he's on 1 HP, but where is he? He's upstairs, and I believe Inrio's stuck there as well. So Inrio, he miraculously denies the plant. West Garfield still have enough manpower to make it work. Does not matter in the end. And I do believe he will have another, not a rehost. We're going to try to see what's going on with the servers.
I have no clue what's going on really, but yeah, that was a round where maybe some people didn't quite headshots they wanted to, but still it was the start. They opened up that dining wall, they opened up the office wall, they pushed back those players. We're going to play for that vertical control, and then that point, it's then on to then take fights with the members on site, which was good. They threw the grenade, they pushed back some players, they killed Newers, and then from there, it's that fact that Rudy then came up west main, goes to the flank, able to stop the players behind half wall, though they did C4 their planter. It's there from there, you saw Rudy kill the player behind half wall, kill the player in trophy, take that control of site, and from there, players have to come back to site or use vertical control like Inrio tried to do and try and stop them, which unfortunately did not work.
Yeah, again, one of those moments, I'm just going to be honest, Fermi was like, we're going to cameras, and I was like, oh crap, I got to turn on my light, and then my notebook fell over. So it was just like a tornado came around my room. So, kitchen dining, not the play for Dallas Vendetta, unfortunately. Loud sound just came from the dining room. That scared me a little bit, I'm not going to lie. So kitchen dining, clearly not the play for Dallas Vendetta, unfortunately. They've managed to win basement, which is a little bit miraculous, but their options, they can still go to bar gaming, which is traditionally one of, if not the best site on this map, or master bedroom office, which is traditionally the worst site, or the second to worst site. Usually kind of that it and basement kind of like fight for which is the worst. But they do have the option of going to bar gaming, so we'll see if they can make that happen. I do believe we're going to a full-blown rehost again to try to figure out what's happening with these servers, so apologies. It's also not our fault, so like,
yeah.
Sorry for the delay.
What's going on? What's going on with the servers, Ubisoft? That's all I can ask.
I'm gonna email him right now, actually, Benny. Here, you start talking. I'm gonna draft up an email to John W. Ubisoft and ask him what is going on.
John W. Ubisoft. Yeah, it's been interesting that the despite that first round Rome not going so well, they went to retry kitchen dining rather than go to games and bar and games, which you've talked in the past that you don't like teams switching their sites too much depending on how the round goes. Should that have been the same case here where they should have switched to bar and gaming, or should they have stuck to kitchen dining once more?
No, I think because here's the thing, right, is at least there were some adjustments trying to be made for Dallas Vendetta, okay? If you're just like, if you try a site once, then you're like, all right, clearly this is scuffed. Let's just try something else. Just try and adjust the setup, because there's a thought process that we can see in real time develop over the course of the game. We have round number 1, kitchen dining. They see that West Garfield Park are going for a roam clear, as to be expected, of the top floor. Kento is trying to work his position on Blackwall inside a piano. Inrio is trying to help him out as well. Same with Giddy. They're facing some trouble. They're keeping it even, but they still succumb to the roam clear. Okay, they're played a bit further back. They gave a lot of control to West Garfield. What's the adjustment there? Well, maybe a similar one to what they did on Villa. You bring those mirror windows. Sure, as opposed to on Villa, it was on the site. This go around, it's on the roam, but it's still with the same logic. To make holding a position a lot more palatable. It's what they tried to do. Even though it ended up failing, you still see the adjustment there. And that's why I appreciate teams trying sites multiple times when they make adjustments. And not just saying, ah, crap, we lost dorms. Guess we gotta go to a basement now. Like, Let's try a little
I still have no clue where that second mirror is at, actually, too.
Both were on the top floor. I know that. I think it was placed further back, probably in, say, closet, maybe. I'm not too sure. We didn't see it.
I didn't see it all. I think in the sense, too, it may be better if they put it on, like I said before, on the trophy wall facing towards West Main, because that's where Rudy came up and caused, what, two kills?
Yeah.
Dealt with the half wall and dealt with trophy pressure. If you had a mirror there, you could have stopped that.
I was also going to say, in terms of while we might not know the location of that second mirror window, in terms of the round, the only one that mattered was the one we saw. So,
Yep. So
works out
unfortunately,
for us.
Yeah. Oh, also reminds me. Remember talking about the other day about, like, I was adamant about not playing hookah billiards on Coastline?
Yes.
I remember now, because especially because it's LA. The thing you were adamant about is doing solar takes.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that. Benny was like, there's a thing that you're super adamant about. And I was like, there's a lot of things, Benny. There's a lot of them. That doesn't narrow it down. Like, actually, what am I adamant about, actually? It's one of those things where now I can't really think of it. Unless I want to start getting political on stream, which I don't think anybody wants me to do.
Well, ask me about Siege in general, I guess. So maybe it's more specific at that point.
I wasn't thinking about anything Siege related. In fact, I don't think Siege even factored into what I was thinking right now. What I am adamant about, though, is getting back into this game, which we thankfully can do. We've switched servers. Hopefully these ones are more hospitable. Look at Giddy being a good sport in chat. Shout out Giddy.
Good luck.
Sometimes he gets a little too litty. You know, we love him for it.
He needs someone
I
to
thought it was
just pops
clever.
off.
I thought it was cute to me.
All right. Once again. No, not like this.
Man.
Not like this.
That's how it happens.
And now we have to do the timer too.
Forrest brings up a good point.
No, it's like more. Doesn't matter. Just don't play with mine. Okay.
I mean,
gentleman's rule.
that's
Gentleman's rule. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you. Thank you, the players, for going with that.
Oh no, Forrest is playing Womai.
Oh no.
What do we do?
I was playing Warren around. Easy.
Attackers need to locate
I just like Forrest going, none of y'all were playing Warden. That actually would be. What if Warden was one of their strats?
Or if they bring out Ying? Oh man.
I guess we'll hope they don't do that.
We'll get to that bridge when we cross it, I guess. But
I imagine
anyway.
I'm not gonna make an admin call, but like as you said, there is like a 5-minute timer. We'll probably just behind the scenes probably reevaluate the issue.
Yeah. Admins will make the call. They'll talk about it in the
Benny and I are
room.
not admins, so like don't take if we're not like calling the game, don't take anything we say.
No, we're
Seriously.
screwing around. We don't make any calls here. We're just here to talk.
Unless we're
about
talking
things.
about unless we're casting the game or it's about Mike and Ike's and Mavix gaming chairs, do not take anything we say seriously.
I am just a caster. I don't want to say anything per se, but hey, one thing we did talk about though was the sites, and they're actually going to bedroom and office, and they still got the barn games. So is this maybe Dallas Vendetta knowing that maybe that Gaines bar site's been played too much, and they're trying to expand further so they don't get caught up in their strategies per se? What's the reason it's going to, well, massive bedroom and office where there's a lot of different windows? It makes it very difficult with the site, and this is where solo takes happen quite a lot.
Let's go. Oh, they're not doing a solo take, so.
No, they're not.
Thumbs down. It's fine. I think it's mostly just because I think at the time I made that statement, we were casting a lot of qualifiers, and there's a lot of not good takes on Chile. I think that's what inspired me to make that statement. Library takes can be all well and good when you have a team who knows how to make them work. And in this case, I think I can confidently say that West Garfield probably fall into that category. They've quickly opened up that office wall, and they now could start turning their attention to potentially Giddy inside a piano, playing behind this deployable shield. Plenty of burn to deal with him, of course. They can use the Honor clone to burn that Renegade. Bam. There you go. Now they can also use some flashbangs, some nades to burn that shield, and the Banshee just around the corner and push him further back over towards Blackwall. The shield's still alive. They got to deal with that. No, remain a 5v5 for the moment.
This is where you're going to see some West fire from a different direction. Second grenade should destroy that shield, maybe. But we see Rudy going towards... Wow, the shield's still there. That's actually kind of insane. But we see Rudy going towards the other side to maybe go on those solar windows. Because again, Solar windows, bathroom windows, the big window in bedroom. These are important angles to cut off defenders from rotating. Like we see Vivid, he's playing for an angle to throw, the smokes over by half wall. You need to cut him and stop him doing this.
If they don't, it'll certainly spell problems in the round. Giddy holds. He remains inside of Piano for the time being. The final nade from Twist could be the end of him. The last nade, and all it does is destroy the shield, but it makes Giddy's position a lot more difficult. The Vivid's there, hovering over his shoulder, saves his life, and now the Aruni can play this position and catch Twist off guard. If the sledge vaults in this window, it's West Garfield Park. I can just feel it in my bones that he's going to press spacebar and vault in with the kill as well. No, he gets his kill, then he pulls back out. Rudy finishes off Inrio, so Giddy might catch them off guard, and he does indeed. But now they know they can pre-fire this easily, especially now that Giddy's on low HP. But with 20 seconds left, Newers, he has a C4, and if he can get into position, he can launch it over. Nobody's at bathroom window, but Newers and the rest of the defense, mainly Newers and Kento, they play it slow, and the bomb goes down successfully. Newers can't work himself into a position to use that C4, and if he does, the attack is already pulled back. Gets a kill with his gun. Now that Kento's moving on forward, Rudy and Bio are both a little bit further back. Bio sure is up close, but now that Rudy's got that kill, it's almost impossible for Kento to get this bomb down without killing both of these players, and he doesn't have a lot of time to do it. Rudy holding down the fort, prone, letting the LMG sing. 3-1 for West Garfield in their attack.
Oh, that was a round where, unfortunately, we saw some great starts for, well, not gonna say starts, but it was just the fact that, Dallas when they were wasting a lot of time. They were sitting in positions. The grenades are coming through trying to destroy the shield on the Piano, and they weren't quite doing the job until finally they did just throw one grenade straight at the Piano shield, destroyed it. And then from there, even then, the first pick was in the favor of Dallas Vendetta. The jump in from Forest, Vivid's there to pull off. But then from there, the problem comes into play that certain people peek and like Vivid, which are important to stop the plant, because unless you have control of downstairs and dining or fireplace, you can't stop that plant unless you throw from that wall inside office, from that section. And that main player to do so was Vivid. He peeks out, he gets picked off. So now the only way to stop the plant would be a C4 from below or a C4 from that side. And the other players, like Newers, who had a C4, were in a position to throw that C4, allowing the plant to go down. And then now the players have to try and push forward, despite now the control that the attack has when it comes to books, when it comes to that fireplace top floor. There's many different angles and the balcony to use on top of that. There's too many angles now for the defense to try and fight back, and that's usually why once you get the plant down on half wall, that site is so difficult to retake. Why we consider one of the we think it's the worst sites per se from our point of view, which I don't know, depends how you want to take that.
Well, Benny, I don't value your opinion, so I think you're wrong. Not personal, but actually it's actually very personal. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. Dallas Vendetta have tried every site except bar and gaming until this round. So now they'll try bar and gaming. They'll bring the mirror out once again, which makes the hold on the top floor a lot easier. If you want to play in pillar, you of course will likely play behind a deployable shield, or maybe not now that they have that mirror window, but you can rely on likely a player playing behind a shield on those library stairs. Without a Womai, because, they're abiding by the honor system. Without a Womai, makes this position a lot more difficult to hold, but still manageable with that mirror.
He's just pre-firing into the dining room, caused Kento to drop off dining. Open the wall up, and yeah, they know at least one person was roaming. Psychosis made their way through, but unaware of the presence, are not able to finish the kill. Kento, he does a lot of damage, not able to kill Psychosis, and now he's probably going to back off of doing all the damage. Still some damage done, but not quite the impact you want to have. And now they know he's below, they can see if they can cut him off, but that's not the main point. Still, the main point of the round is going to be dealing with these shields, whether it be a pillar, whether it be on top of library stairs. And that's what the mirror is there for too. The mirror allows them to try and stop, if they Google for library, to try and stop that, that pillar shield in general.
West Garfield continuing their strategy of full clearing the entire map before they start focusing on the setup in, above, and around the bomb site. And now they've reached that point. They've cleared out solar. They've cleared out master bedroom, bathroom, and office. Let's start focusing on the actual defense. Use the majority of their X-Kairos to open up this wall. Perpendicular. Yeah, it's perpendicular. Or parallel, maybe. Either way, doesn't matter. words don't matter. Twist sends in a nade. He doesn't need to speak. He uses his gadgets and lets them do the talking. He gets the first pick of the round. That was Inrio over inside a pillar. And as a response, now that his teammate's fallen, Giddy's had to pull back towards the site, and West Garfield have vertical control with a minute remaining.
Vertical control is huge. If they can use that vertical control and push out the player Newers playing, I believe Newers is playing the mirror window inside of stock, of course. If they can get angle on there, either push him out, kill him with a grenade. C4 comes out, will he get a kill? It looks like pre-placed on top of fireplace, but nobody's there. Grenade comes down his position, Twist throws it right through. It looks like Newers will be able to survive that grenade. Bio's actually going for the plants by the half, actually inside a bar. Rudy's there to stop Newers from starting. He takes out Giddy too at the window, stopping all those rotating players. Is now down to Kento, who gets 2 for his team, but he's at a 1v3 post plants. 3 players who now have vertical control over him and are outside in many different directions to stop him from retaking the site.
Yeah, that's the main issue right now. With that vertical play just compounded upon the angles around the side, it's difficult for him to make work. Rudy somehow misses every single shot there. Honestly, a little bit amazing. And now I'm a little bit worried. There's not a lot of time left, but Kento's got 3 kills, and he knows the remaining players are upstairs, but he gets caught sprinting by Psychosis. 4-1 for West Garfield Park so far on the attack, as Dallas Vendetta have not found a consistent answer on any of these sites.
Yeesh, yeah, they've been searching far and wide trying to figure out these defenses. And that defense there, well, it was that early start where you're taking time, you're opening things up, you're pushing out the players, full clearing, as I said before. Those players that were maybe roaming off the site like we saw Psychosis get into an early engagement with Rudy. And, well, not Rudy, with Kento. Kento couldn't get that kill, but still, they were able to push him off, take that control of that side of the map, and then push forward into the site, get rid of that. The first step is going to be dealing with those shields, and they did it perfectly. Not only able to deal with the shield on top of the library, kill Inrio on top of pillar, deal with that roam entirely, and then with a minute and 15, that's quite a lot of time to then use that control on the vertical control, push those players back, push those anchors away. And we saw, usually people go for that plant but half full, but Bio jumps down the hatch into bar. Looks like they joined it out, or they knew nobody was there. He gets the plant right by a machine, and nobody's there to really push forward. Rudy's at the window and set up games. He's able to cut off every defender trying to rotate from games back into bar. And then once the plant goes down with that vertical control, not much you can do there.
Tactical timeout, of course, by Dallas Vendetta. Try to get a hold on their problems they've had so far. But even then, as we mentioned, obviously they should have anticipated, starting out on Chalet defense. It's never good to start out at such a deficit. But even if they get a 2-4 half, it's not the worst thing in the world. But again, this is something that they hopefully have prepared for. And never thought I'd say this, but Benny, they get to go to basement, which is the only site that they have won so far. Again, it's kind of weird when basement on Chalet is a team safe haven, but it's the situation we're in, unfortunately. You hate to say it. But let's see if they can make it work. They'll run back the strategy they did previously, have Inrio on the roam, and I believe with Kento as well, trying to hold down dining and kitchen, and also just putting a little bit of pressure into main lobby if they get the opportunity, with the other 3 players holding down below. And we did see for West Garfield, it took them a little bit to open up that garage wall, specifically to get that vertical control to destroy the Electric Claw, and then open up that snowmobile wall. They take that long here, and Dallas Vendetta are able to just maybe layer on a little bit more time wasted on top of that.
5 seconds left.
I think this could be a 2-4
They
Dallas Vendetta.
forced that hatch.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
I mean, assuming that West Garfield go for the same execute they did last time, they don't necessarily need the hatch open, and obviously they could rotate back, but
I guess, but I feel like that hatch should be open so that you can deny the wine cellar push. But hey, what do I know? We'll see how it works out for them. But last time, the big thing was the fact that, well, nobody could really play. We see West Garfield make this clears and really clear the map. But last time, they weren't able to, 1, clear the full map, and 2, get any kills on the roam clear. It forced them into that garage push, which in the end, they were doing it late in the round. And there was only so much they can do when they haven't really full cleared the map and there's people flanking them. They're trying to push straight into sight against the anchors while being rushed. But so far, it looks like Twist has some control on top floor. He's looking for see if he can find someone roaming, which this time will be Newers. He was playing downstairs inside a bar last time. This time he's playing with Newers on the top floor in the library.
yeah, both Newers and Kento on the roam right now, and West Garfield looking to tip the scales in their favor a little bit early on. A minute gone some intel gained, but no actual openings so far, as Kento and Newers are not trying to give their lives away too early. There's a jackal ping on one of the players over by library stairs. It's Kento, who that is, but Newers the first one to get a little bit of damage. Oh, maybe not Newers, but somebody gets some damage on a twist, puts him down extremely low. In West Garfield, one thing I'd say for certain, going cocktail side this time.
If they can open up that wine cellar walls, they actually open the hatch too.
It's close.
And so if they can get, if they have control of dining and they haven't, just dealt with these defenders, let's see what happens though. It looks like they're trying to open up these walls, get rid of electric claws so they can open up the wine cellar walls. Because usually when they go for his wine cellar, the big thing is able to get in there. Imrio taken down first, so on the roam, Rudy's got that flank watch this time on check. And with the wall open, now they're going to push through and try and find these picks. Blue hall is going to be important here. That's where the defenders can try and stop the push through.
Ooh, Vivid putting himself in a bit of a tricky position, cut off by that X-Kairos angle, but Twist does a lot of the work for the defense, cuts down Psychosis, and the big issue here, it's a 4v4, sure, but Rudy and Twist, your two entries right now, or who will likely be your entries, both on 1 HP. Bio, sure, he's got the diffuser, but when two of the players who will cover the plant can be killed by one bullet, and Newer still has control of Blue Hole, which is a position you need to deal with, it's looking likely that that position, at a bare minimum, is going 1-for-1. Could be even worse if Kento's flank, as he's currently sitting in main lobby, could be successful. Rudy was watching that area, but he drops down to support the rest of his team.
Oh, no.
The Twist opens things up. In the final 20 seconds, he makes it a 3v4. There's still Newers holding this angle. If they start pushing on in, sure, Kento's retaken the hatch. Now they have to deal with players up above and down below. Twist turns around. He deals with it, but there he goes. Newers cuts him down. But Blue, the pressure's coming through. Forrest is there, but Giddy gets a beautiful C4, but Forrest catches him completely off guard. Catches the Cade, slipping even after his success with the C4. 5-1-1 for West Garfield Park.
Oh, we going to 5-1-1 once again. It's going to be the same thing as Villa, but turn the other side away. I don't know. That made sense even, actually. That was crazy English.
I get what you said.
But yeah, no, that round right there, though, that was a round where it was a wine cellar push from the side of West Garfield Park. They were going for that control. They seemed like they want to try and clear these roamers, which they do get the first pick onto Inrio. But it was Rudy holding the flank. But then there's a team kill. So that kind of evened up the scoreboard. And then going into that push, they never cleared out Blue per se. They actually opened the hatch, which allowed Kento to kill the first planter. But even after all of that, they're able to kill Vivid. They're able to find picks on these defenders who try to peek out left and right. And they actually bring it back and force, despite the time ticking to, like, there was like 5 seconds left. He's able to find the last defender who's trying to stay alive in connector and keep themselves, and give them that round, give them the 5-1-1. Because really, that looked like it could have been, maybe not should have been, but could have been a round for Dallas Vendetta.
Again, 5-1-1 is not unheard of on Chalet, but for your map pick, it's still not something you want to have to deal with for Dallas Vendetta. The attack, the first thing we'll have to deal with, again, Benny.
10 seconds to go.
Love these basement roams. We always say, oh, the site's bad. Site's not good. The teams go to it first.
I didn't say that. That was
What
me.
do we know? Hey, shut up. You're with me. We're basically one entity.
It's-
I don't want to hear it. Well, of course, they will, given it is a basement defense, they will also try to hold this via a roam. They have not reinforced the dining hatch like Dallas Vendetta did last time, so they have an avenue to hop back down into the site if they face some pressure. And right now, there are 3 players from Dallas Vendetta over on Wine's side, so might be taking it from there, but we're only 30 seconds in. I've seen teams rotate with less time.
Oh, yeah, they can do whatever they want at this point. Looks like they may just try to find their way through that garage. Maybe just open up some walls, but there's always some early fights. Looks like Newer is taking a fight with the Vigil of Rudy. No damage done, but just shots coming through, and they're able to see one player's with him. So Rudy's playing in dining. Psychosis playing the trophy stairs to try and help him out, support this roam. And this is going to be something clear, because again, that hatch was important. We saw Kento do pretty well to stop the plant, but again, it depends on if they're actually going for wine stuff. You see a Twitch drone looking for an electric claw on that garage wall, which even if you don't go for garage, just opening the wall to cut off rotate is a good thing entirely.
Second Electro Claw goes out and should shock that wall before anybody from the attack can register their opinion on that sudden change the geography of the map. Don't have to worry about that now, as Newer still does have one Twitch drone, so they could send it in and shock it off of that elbow wall. It's always still a factor. Vivid using the majority of X-Kairos, I believe. Did they open up that bunker wall, Benny? I was not sure. They might have.
I don't know actually if they did. I hear them go off though, so they might have actually opened it, but Rudy still has the control of the hatch. Forrest downs and kills near Newers outside of the garage, so there goes that coverage from outside. Bio goes down, he's gonna get picked back up. With that control of the hatch still in the way of West Garfield, this has to go for kills at that point.
Oh, and going for kills they will, and somehow Giddy loses that one, but there's Vivid and Kento to fight back. West Garfield hold on for just a little bit longer. A flash grenade goes in, but Vivid retreats from the garage wall as Enrio's alone right now on this side of the map. He's not taken down. It's Kento finished off and able to stave off defeat and death until Vivid gets there for support. With Rudy and the hatch up above, as Benny said earlier, this is important control, but Enrio somehow slides his way on in anyway, but it's Blue that gets the better of him. Vivid doesn't have the diffuser. The Lion had it, and it's dropped in the middle of sight now. Vivid has to clutch a 1v2. He's done it already today on Villa. This is a little bit more difficult of a situation. He's on attack. He's got to be the one that makes the play. He can't wait for them to come to him. One just around the corner, sitting right on the diffuser. It's Twist that does him in the end. Match point for West Garfield Park. Looking like we might have a 3-mapper, Benny. Something that we have not had much of in SCS Stage 2. Or at least this,
Yeah, I
Stage
think
2.
the only one was the Noob Slayers versus Mystic game, was it?
And the Dallas Vendetta Wichita Wolves Academy game.
I meant that we casted.
Oh, that we cast?
Yeah.
I meant in general, but yeah, that we cast.
Oh, I meant we casted because I don't remember the other ones. But either way, that was a round where we saw Dallas Vendetta. They went for a similar play where they didn't really full clear the roam, and then they go for control of wine. So they try to open garage and create different angles, try to catch off defenders who maybe are rotating. And unfortunately, no, they weren't able to catch them off. It was actually West Garfield Forest per se to get the first pick onto Newers to stop that, those angles, stop those watchful eyes from the side of Dallas Vendetta. And on top of that, because we didn't clear the roam, West Garfield Park still had control of that hatch going in from dining, dropping down into wine cellar. So you can't go for that plant wine cellar. So instead, at that point, you take fights. We saw them rush into blue, rush into sight, and try and take those fights, try to win them. And unfortunately, no, they could not win the majority of them. It was still Dallas Vendetta and also West Garfield Park to come up the winners in those engagements. And really at that point, then you saw Vivid alone at that point, trying to bring it back. We go on to West Garfield Park. They're a match point. They only need one more defense, but you're on Chalet. Defense is the technically, historically, difficult side. Can they get one more?
Well, they're going upstairs this time. So, again, still plenty of opportunities for Dallas Vendetta to get a few wins on the board. Now that West Garfield's got one. It's always just scary. At any time, this could be over. Mirror's left up, so they have that tool in their arsenal, just like Dallas Vendetta did. But look at Forrest taking a hell of a lot of damage early on. Kento on those solar windows, able to fire a few shots as he's opening the barricade. And Forrest damaged as he retreats in the bathroom. We have a solar take, Benny. Let's go.
Is it a solar take or is it just on the windows?
What is apparently my favorite thing on the face of the earth.
Oh,
Kento's already in.
Kento just walks in. Again, and he opens a hole. Does he see the person? Oh my god, no, Forrest was able to fight that pick because they did have an intel on one player in closet, maybe on the second person, Forrest, who was standing still. So the solar take so far, neutralized. Another player may jump on there, but so far, nobody's on those big windows. They're only on the solar windows. Nobody's really cutting off, looking to find a pick onto somebody rotating on the side of West Garfield.
Those X-Kairos, they can certainly open up some useful angles to cut off a rotation. Or make a player, particularly Biologic in this case, a little bit more uncomfortable for where they are playing. He certainly will be a little bit. He'll have to tuck himself in this corner a little bit more actively. He wants to try and evade the line of sight now created by the players on Solarium windows. They've not found anybody inside a bathroom, as it's Biologic who's the closest to the attack right now, and everybody else on the defense is either pulled further back in the site or down below. There are some players all the way over in Library and Mudroom. And Rudy might go for a jump out if the call is given, or if he feels it. It evens it up. Bio taken down, sitting inside of the closet. The E1D rings out as well, and this is when Rudy decides to strike with a player on bathroom window. There it goes. Newer is not even aware of the fate awaiting him, and West Garfield hold on to their lead.
That's looking good right here. And twist, great swing onto Bathroom. Down goes Giddy. And this is the control. This makes it, the solar takes aren't good. But the problem is you need more than just solar. You need people on windows like Bathroom, like Big Window, though Bathroom, like you saw, can be dealt with if you do jump out that closet window. The closet window as well. So now at that point, losing those players that could take up those angles is now down to Inro and Vivid to try and find a way through it. The only control they have is solar. So they're just going to walk right through these doors or walk through the breach that they've created and see if they can find these picks onto these players who may not be aware, but yeah, there's 2v4.
Four still has a C4 and he still has this angle. Final EE1D goes out and it gives Vivid an opportunity to move into the site. But right as that happens, you can see all the defense move in response. Vivid turns around just in time, but it's all over for Dallas Vendetta on that map. It's not over yet for them in this series, but again, we will have a 3-mapper, one of the rare ones in Stage 2 so far. And for losing the first map, 8-6, yeah, West Garfield just made a statement on their opponent's map pick.
Yeah, that was quite a dominating attacking half isn't too crazy for Chalet, but then to win 2 defenses in a row on Chalet in response after your 5-1 half, maybe some of those rehosts unfortunately were a bit of a tilter for some of the guys on Dallas Vendetta. Hard to say, but they've got to bring it back and try to collect themselves for map 3 of Clubhouse.
Well, I'm sure they most certainly can. As I said before, West Garfield Park have played Clubhouse in Stage 2, and there were definitely some exploitable weaknesses that Carnico certainly made good use of against them in the first game, or their first game of Stage 2. Dallas Vendetta have done their VOD review. They might find something, though that was a while ago, at least a while ago by SCS standards, a couple weeks ago. We'll see if they've done it. We do want to thank Mavix Gaming Chairs, of course. Before we head to a break, you get their new M4 gaming chair, or any chair that you find appealing, attractive, dare I say, titillating. If you really want a new chair that is built for your comfort during long hours of Rainbow Six Siege or SCS Stage 2 playoff matches, in this case, you go to mavix.com/NerdStreetGamers and get one for as low as $22.22 a month in installments, or if you're like me, who's the richest man on the face of the earth, you just pay in bulk, pay all at once, because you're the GOAT like that. But of course, we'll see which of these players cement their status in SCS and move further in the playoffs. Will it be West Garfield? Will it be Dallas Vendetta? I don't know. Benny doesn't. And you can only find out if you stick around after the break for map number 3.
Have to get aggressive. Breach looking for it, and Hill got it.
Have to push for the kill. Have to kill the Malinski.
Transfers on 1-3. What a passion! It's high noon. There's no 1v2 and 5-1 half for Sir. Have to get aggressive. Breach looking for it, and Hill got it.
Have to push for the kill. Have to kill the Malinski.
Transfers on 1-3. What a passion! It's high noon. There's no 1v2 and 5-1 half for Sir.
Well, again, it's a 3-mapper, a rarity for this stage. And hopefully it'll be an exciting one. I am Lynx, joined by Benny, and between Dallas Vendetta and West Garfield Park, we are on the final map to decide which of these teams will go home in playoffs and which will move on to the semis. Will it be Dallas Vendetta, the CL team, or West Garfield Park, whose name is funny?
Hey, they're the pug stack that is showing up just because, well, it's just because, but they're the pug stack of ex pros and players who've been around the block, showing us that they can still put up a fight, and they did just that on the opponent's map pick of Dallas Vendetta. 7-1. Sheesh. What do you?
Why do we have the replay?
Oh, you talking about that? Yeah.
Of Nova picking the wrong band.
Wait, Newers went 22-9 in this map too?
No, he didn't.
What?
Oh, those are the wrong stats.
Yeah, well, so there's no way he went 22-9 on this map. Okay,
There we go, okay.
That makes more sense now. I was like, wait, what?
I'm still laughing at that.
Oh, the bands?
They put in the clip of Nova putting in the wrong
Also,
band.
still funny. We had the wrong bands, and they still played throughout the map like that. Didn't play with my.
I respect that. I respect that of them.
That
But,
was gentleman's agreement.
Yeah, Newers might have burnt himself out between map 1 and 2. I'm reading the Wheel of Time right now. Fun fact. And there's a phenomenon in the book where if you channel too much of the magic, you burn yourself out. Like that's the little terminology. Like you literally you die. Like you literally just die. Newers didn't die. But I think he definitely came close to burning himself out. Dropping 22 kills. He like took it all in and then he used it all and now he's kind of like exasperated.
Yeah. And that's one thing we talked about. We talked about in the pre-show was dealing with Newers, and definitely seemed like this time around Newers wasn't quite as effective. And we saw a lot of it in that play. Sure, they had some good moments on both attack and defense, but the lack of firepower, the lack of ability to really frag out and deal with people on West Garfield Park seemed to be a big issue, especially Chalet. It's Chalet, for God's sakes.
Well, yeah, definitely on Chalet, it seemed to be a big issue. Moving forward to Clubhouse, I know Connor always likes to talk about how Clubhouse, it's an equalizer map. I was gonna do a Connor impression, but actually I don't know if I actually have a Connor impression.
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, just like be generic. Just like be as normal and milk toast and bland as possible.
Like, how do you
and have a Guy Fieri beard at the same time, which I guess, got some weird facial hair going on, so I get it too. But as Connor said, it's an equalizer map. If there's any map West Garfield can get an upset victory, because let's be honest, after Dallas Vendetta's record, that's what it would be. Can they get an upset victory over them? We'll just have to find out. We're getting Clubhouse underway. It is Dallas Vendetta starting in the attack. The West Garfield starting on the defense.
We have the
A
same
departure.
bands on every single map so far. We have
had the same bands on every map so far. I assume we'll see the Thatcher band. I don't know if we'll see West Garfield ban the Nomad again. I imagine they'll maybe prioritize a Thatcher or a Hibana.
I'm gonna bet on they're gonna do same bands. That's what I'm gonna do.
You're really gonna bet on the same bands?
Yep, I'm betting
On
on the same
club?
bands. Nah, well,
Yeah, you're wrong. I was about to say, I can bet the Dallas Vendetta are probably gonna ban Thatcher, and I had a feeling that West Garfield would probably do a Hibana ban just because Hibana on club is very powerful. I mean, it could. That's true. It could be Maverick. We have that. No, never mind. It'd be fun. I do like those Hibana map bands. So you have Thatcher up. I enjoy those. But I imagine the next one will be Valkyrie. I don't think we get anything too adventurous today. We've had Mira left up on both maps though, so we might see a Wilmaya ban. Make taking Rafters a little bit easier.
Or Kaid. Could be.
Wilmaya or Cade, I'll take it.
Could be either
I'll
one.
certainly take it.
We'll see.
I'll be okay with it.
Just because you lose the bottom.
All right, that's our bad.
Well. My bad for feeling adventurous.
Benny, we had it good for 2 maps, okay? We had a good time. Sometimes you gotta come back down to earth. You can't be like Icarus, okay?
Can't burn my wings off. Don't want to be burned by the
Exactly.
sun. Oh man. But hey, back to a good old map of Clubhouse. And hey, I don't know, out of all the maps that we see in T3, I'm fine with Clubhouse. Yeah,
Not even really T3, is it? It's Dallas Vendetta CL team versus former Pro League talent plus Psychosis and Twist. It's like 40%.
Yeah,
Actually, 20% of this lobby is T3. Well, actually,
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
technically, would you say 30%? Because Newers hasn't played a CL season yet.
Oh yeah, Newers hasn't played a season in T2.
But he's
just
on
yet.
a Challenger League team.
He is, but Challenger League isn't going on right now.
Well, shut up. By the way, it's a bar stage defense to start out.
Oh, well, hey, that's a way to make it interesting.
That is a way to make it interesting. Well, usually, there's a very funny story with Kento in particular. last stage,
Seconds left.
I don't remember the game. I think it actually might have been...
Insertion.
No, it was against Wichita Wolves when Kento was on Aerial Arise. We saw Outlast completely demolish a Wichita Wolves bar stock defense. Wichita Wolves ran back the defense against Aerial Arise, and they completely just fumbled the bag. So, hopefully Kento, this go-around, will have a much better time clearing out bar stock, because I can probably bet in a game day match, I don't think he as a player has done it since then.
Also, my question being, why did Forrest open up the hatch inside of Strip? Is he gonna throw like maybe an alibi clone on the roof to be annoying?
I don't know, man. It's a bar stock defense. All bets are off.
That's true. I don't know what's going on at this point. They could be
Bar stage,
anything
come on.
crazy.
Technically, it
Well,
is technically bar stage, but
yeah, bar stage. Because the stock is bar stock was ridiculous. You just walk into stock for
Yeah.
God's sakes. That was crazy. Hey, Newers, first pick on Rudy though. Elsewhere, it looks like Rudy maybe I don't know if he was being aggressive where he got the pick from. Maybe peeking out that window construction per se. It looks like he may be on the rappel elsewhere, facing that way. But at this point, it looks like the first puck from Dallas Vendetta is gonna be dealing with this roam, pushing back these roamers, gaining control of top floor. But Twist is gonna fight back though and take down Newers.
and there's potential for another kill as Dallas Vendetta slowly Mav open that wall. Psychosis trying to get aggressive, but a call comes through. Is the default cam left up there? That's what I'm wondering based on that kill. It just doesn't seem like Twist just did that off of sheer feeling. Whatever it was, cam or not, the result is the Thermite goes down. The other hard breacher for Dallas Vendetta. You still have Inrio, but he was preoccupied with that jacuzzi wall. As the attack moves back down to that first floor, in all likelihood, Dallas Vendetta are going to spend a lot of time clearing out what remains of this top floor.
At least you still have Giddy in the sledge, and they can take control of master bedroom. They still can open up the floor, push back these defenders, and try and isolate them. But without the real hard breaching and Vivid, it's gonna be annoying to open that stage wall if they do go for that plant. But they can always just walk down these main stairs, try and take control and bar, and push the plant there. We'll see what happens next though. As we see things going off, concussions from that hatch into stage to see if anybody's playing there. But so far now we need to see Dallas Vendetta deal with utility, push back these defenders per se. And Yokai's are being pinged out too. Those Yokai's are gonna be big for later on. So Kiseos is doing heavy damage in a different spot. We'll see where these rest of the defenders are gonna sit and wait.
Ooh, a well-cooked nade, but it goes a little bit short. Does not fly in the bathroom, and Twist is safe there for the moment. Giddy still has 2 nades, and could be of more importance now that another Dallas Vendetta member has been taken off the board. It's Inrio with his gun that's doing the work, and another nade goes through. He's distracted by Biologic, and that might have swayed his judgment, perhaps into a more negative way, as Twist goes huge in round number 1, and West Garfield win bar stock in the ultimate BM.
Wow, Twist that round, not only getting the trade for Forrest or Rudy going down early, then he gets another pick off of that, running out, jumping out that gym window. And the question was, is the default cam still up? Because he played that so well. I don't know what intel they had, but this kill right here, jumps out of the gym window, and then from there, able to cover for Bio, get a third pick, and then a fourth onto the player pushing from Billiards. Because in the end, losing 2 players early, losing your Thermite, from there, the question is, where do you plant? If you can't effectively get opened up that stage wall, do you then just push from Billiards into bar? Or where does, Dallas Vendetta go from that point? Unless to get up for the frags, but they have to really figure out where these players are at, which they do some of them were at, but they couldn't really seem to, pin them down.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Moving on to basement, as we just saw West Garfield win bar stage. Just want to take another moment to address that fact. And if they had lost that, we would have been clowning them for going bar stage. But they won it. So now we can't really. It's kind of this weird feeling that I have.
I don't know. Twist went crazy that round, though.
Twist did go crazy. Good job to him. Started off with a 4K. Good looks. Now going on to basement. Wamai is up. He's not banned. Psychosis is not breaking any kind of gentleman's agreement. And usually when you see that Wamai up in combination with, say, a Cade or a Maestro, it's going to be a very concentrated hold down towards the site. Not to say that Twist or Psychosis might not get aggressive, especially since Psychosis, as Wamai, is on the top floor for some reason. But we're going to see most of the players on the site.
Yep, and it looks like they're opening up holes, looking to impact Tricked, as Rudy has impact his Maestro. And we'll see shields, of course, placed towards that Moto entry. We'll see probably maybe even dirt as well, as someone's going to play there to stop the eventual death push if it happens. But now we're going to see, of course, with the Kaiden there, you have to use grenades to destroy some of these Electro Claws. We'll see Dallas Vendetta, just take control of the first floor, drone the second floor. It's clubhouse. Do the basics, drone things out, make sure nobody's roaming, which nobody is. Nobody from West Garfield off the site. They're all on site. There's maybe some aggression on main stairs, but nothing too crazy. It should be all in all just at this point seeing Dallas Vendetta create and execute, whether it be kitchen hatch, whether it be go moto, open up the church wall and push on the site, or maybe blue and dirt. I don't know.
A lot of possibilities right now, but main stairs appears to be a bit of a focus for Newers, as Giddy opening up that ceiling, hoping that maybe there's somebody getting aggressive down below that Newers can push down, get a quick pick off of, and then of course Newers, even if there's not somebody there, which there isn't, just hold that angle passively, see if anybody moves in through stock or what have you. They'll put on an exothermic, as I believe there might have just been a, I don't know, is that scanning for just a Cade Claw potentially? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, just made it push them up, but now they have no other heart reaching.
Yeah, Evan Rio. If he wants to, map trick the triple wall.
I was about to say, is he a map trick them? It kind of gates them into certain picks now. I guess he could go for dirt using that. Psychosis goes down to Newers elsewhere, holding the main hallway. So that's a good pick. Oh, he actually is just having it open.
Hey, live your truth, King. I trust you. Now, of course, the issue there is Forrest can go for some kind of pre-fires like that and can be a little precarious to actually try and watch these angles. But if you're Newers, it's really not big of a deal. It's just, doesn't really matter that much. Rudy does get a kill through that area, though, and right before he finishes off Inrio, he's stopped by Vivid. Now, Biologic. Moving in through Ashwall, spots one bottom main, but the SMG-11 goes a little too crazy for him. He'll push up even further, pre-fire Inrio, but Giddy playing his trade and his contact gets Dallas Vendetta their first round on the board.
Yeah, I was kind of questioning a bit there when it came to what utility they had left for the execute, but hey, if you get the picks, because people in West Garfield are peeking, that's all that matters at that point. They get the first pick in a Psychosis, and then using the Maverick Torch, they open up that wall, they make holes in the wall, and Force trying to get aggressive at that point, seeing as they're down manpower, tries to peek those holes back. Unfortunately, can't get a pick, it's taking out many ways on top of that. And with that control, with those kills, Rudy's the only one inside church, so then they can push down the moat hatch, force flood into sight, and while Bio's playing blue at that point, he's actually playing Arsenal. I think blue is not playing blue, trying to hold out and help Rudy. Both those players lose those fights, leaving Bio on a 1v4. He tries to bring it back, walks to the wall, trying to take fights and members who are main stairs. He loses it. So at that point, Dallas Vendetta, great job on that attack. We go back to Arsenal for the try from West Garfield. We'll see what they change. From the operator lineup, you can tell it seems like they might be roaming.
Yeah, it does appear. They might be roaming. Got a Mute, you got a Mozzie, Psychosis 6 pick from Cade the Legion. Indeed. That'd be correct. You don't need to Cade all that much if you're going to be layered all throughout the building, especially if a lot of those hatches that you would normally Cade are going to be open, like the Moto hatch, for example, which could be opened up. We don't have a Vigil on the board, but we still have some operators that could fill a similar role, mainly Psychosis or Twist. We also have some Impact Grenades who could open it up later on if they want to quickly rotate back down. Dallas Vendetta, will they play into it? Well, I imagine they will, unless they see that Bio's alone for a short period of time. They could hit it quick. It seems like that might not be happening.
He's by himself at the moment, but yeah, I think they're actually trying to clear them out. Forrest, he's going to run away, get shot in the back. He's been cut off by Newers on the billiards window. He's going to get away at least alive, but he's low in HP now. Giddy's trying to open up maybe some other windows, try and cut people off. Vivid's going to use one of the external charges on that wall. This is the main intent, is just wasting utility and wasting time. If they can waste enough utility and force Dallas Vendetta to walk through some angles, though at the same point, even with the Maverick on the board, you still can make holes in church. We'll see if that really works out for them per se, as their opening pick. We'll see if they're able to clear this room out. As Rudy's looking around, he's just trying to waiting for them to open up this hole, open up this wall.
Oh yeah, you can see him. You can like see it right now. At least he was thinking about it. Never mind. He wanted the Logi, so maybe he's not going to peek it anymore. One of his roamer buddies taken down, felled, eliminated, dealt with, done away with, off the board. Rudy does send out his C4, but it just meant to more so cover his retreat than actually make a play. In fact, it even helps the attack open up that wall. How kind of you, Rudy, to make the attack's job a little bit easier. He's going to try and put a thorn in their side, or Twist is, at the very least, fairly soon. As Newers walks into a goo mine, Twist is sitting on the top of red stairs, alongside Rudy, who's close by inside a cache. to still kind of hold this top floor, but bide their time and hope the attack forgets they even existed.
You say that, but Newer's on the cutoff. If Newer's can just hold that cutoff and they can, well, I say that Giddy's pushing through. He takes on Twist. Rudy's the only one left on this roam inside of Cash, and once he goes down, it's a 2v5 on site. It's looking to be a Dallas Vendetta round unless Rudy goes crazy here, as he might have been on red. Oh my god. Everybody gets away. Giddy's looking to kill him too. Giddy has no clue, and down goes Giddy. That could be a play to save them, but still, if they can force on site in a 2v4 though, maybe at this point, Rudy's not even a problem.
He's already used his C4, that's not a factor they have to worry about. I believe Forrest might have pre-placed his from down below, so they do need to worry about that. But Bio's doing a good job of delaying some time with those toxic canisters, but Newers doesn't care. He pushes on in. Bio does some work, and the C4 goes through, but it's right as Newers gets a kill. Forrest tries to bring it back, but Dallas Vendetta land 2 in a row.
That was a round right there where, again, the roam was what you live and die by in that round, and unfortunately for West Garfield, most of the roam was unfortunately taken down. 2 players taken out early by Newers, and then from there we saw Rudy had a chance. He did get a kill. He got a pick off that took on Giddy, but that's not enough, especially because you're going on site and Forrest are on low HP. So it's Bio and Forrest. Sure, Bio does get 4. Bio gets 1, but Forrest are on low HP. Bio gets taken down. Forrest gets taken down, and then they decide to cut off the roamer and Rudy, and they're done at that point. So that's why, those roams are difficult. And it seemed like from West Garfield Park, they had sort of roam, but they didn't really bring a whole lot when it came to utility to stop that. And they allowed for like Newers to walk in, stick in lounge, and cut off that clear, or cut off that, when they retreat.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Gym bedroom be the next attempt. Sad Benny, we're not seeing another bar stock or bar stage. I'm gonna need to start getting over that bar stock muscle memory. Just like I cast it so little, I can never actually like work through it.
Did you actually cast a lot of bar and stock when it was a thing?
No, but it was a site.
True, it was a site, yeah.
Before it got reworked.
I never remembered bar and stock because I never casted bar and stock. For God's sakes, nobody played it.
Exactly, it's the point I'm making.
But that's why I don't get mixed up with bar and stage though, because I never was.
Well, stop attacking me. Trying to just lament my issues, and you're assaulting me verbally.
What about West Garfield Park's issues?
Oh, West Garfield Park issues. Obviously, so far they tried a more on-site hold. They've tried a more of a roam. That's the time, Benny, where I'm like, okay, it's all good switching sites now. You try to site multiple different ways. You can't figure out a way to get it. Let's go to gym bedroom now. Let's try something a little bit different. Well, you'll have a roam. You'll have somebody playing inside a cache. Maybe somebody in construction as well. It's a happy medium.
Yeah. Then the roam isn't too crazy. It's not very difficult to come back to site, so Newers can't be there to just cut you off per se. But so far, it looks like they've used one atomic charge, opened up that wall in the CCTV, and they're going to try and deal with these roamers who are playing red, playing cache, playing construction as well. And the question is, especially because they're not bringing, the Selmas, they're not bringing Ace as well. They're only bringing Inri on the Maverick. So I'm assuming Inri will probably go to work on that jacuzzi wall, while the second exothermic charge will maybe be used on that cache wall to push those defenders back. Well, when they get to that point, we'll see what they do so far. As they're just trying to look to open up these windows, taking those CCTV, because once CCTV is controlled, you can just sit on that balcony and stare into sight.
Forrest will let one of his toxic canisters go. Only a minute 10 in the round. Newers lets him slip by, but it's a bit of a tricky angle. One that would have required him to land his shots with perfect timing. Fortunately, doesn't happen. Rudy C4, it goes wide as well. Now, CCTV cache is in the hands of the attack. The attack can play the metal balk with safety. They don't have to worry about somebody retaking that as long as they station somebody on that plat wall. With jacuzzi wall opened up as well, Dallas Vendetta are looking good to move into this site, Benny.
Well, they have control of jacuzzi. They've cleared out CCTV, but the important thing is the jacuzzi opened. They haven't been open a bathroom. So with jacuzzi pushed, and Newers getting the first pick and a bio, second one on to Forrest. That's a huge pick to push through now, and Vivid's going to push the way through. Newers could just jump in at this point.
He could jump in, hold that angle. Vivid certainly moved on in. They might have mainstairs pressure and control, but with so much of Dallas Vendetta able to cover, they have to try and take these fights, and Rudy takes it and wins it successfully, but it costs 2 bodies for West Garfield Park. Twist goes for the cash retake, but how much can he really do here? Newers and Giddy, both inside of the site, allow Inrio to get the bomb down successfully. With Twist on such low HP, he can catch Giddy off guard. Using guerrilla tactics, he takes him down, takes him by surprise, but it's not enough for Dallas Vendetta with their 3 rounds in a row.
Oh, Dallas Vendetta on a roll so far on attack on Clubhouse. We have seen that, Clubhouse has shifted per se when it comes to, being defense or attacker sided, but this is quite a statement from Dallas Vendetta. In that round specifically, that CC was opened up early. Sure, they not really get any picks on the roam clear. They allowed for someone like, Bio to run back to site, those players to come back from cash. But at that point, just sitting on the balcony, looking and waiting, and then Newer is able to find 2 picks doing so from members of West Garfield Park like Bio and Forrest, who may have peeked too early. And sure, sometimes you can try and find attackers who are unaware of your presence, peek out and find those picks, but I'm not sure you want to do it against Newers per se. And especially too, they're able to open jacuzzi with no problem. Sure, they didn't open a bathroom, but what opening those 2 picks, then able to get Vivid in the site and plant. Sure, Rudy does get the pick, he kills the planter, but he's in bedroom, out in the open. Someone's easily able to refrag him from that position. And then from there, the players are falling apart one by one. Some places return back to site, they cut off on the return. It just seems like Dallas Vendetta are finding these picks in the mid to early round so easily at times. Especially, Newer specifically.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, now that Newers is starting to heat up again, who, on Villa, he was that player who you could rely on, especially, maybe not even early on in the round, but later on to open things up. Now that he's actually starting to show back up, something that Dallas Vendetta are benefiting quite heavily from. West Garfield will quickly pivot from Gym Bedroom over to CCTV and Cash. With a Wamai on the board, they can make use of it. They've decided to not bring the Jaeger Benny, so all they have are those magnets to stave off the garage pressure.
And there's 6 grenades to stave off. Sure, there's not a lot of burn with only 3 flashes, but that's a whole lot of grenades to deal with the player in rafters. We see also, too, a bit of a different when it comes to red. Usually we see teams reinforce the middle wall between red and cash. They've actually reinforced the far right wall, opened up the middle, and put a shield there. It's a bit different when it comes to layout, and that could be an issue when it comes to pushing back into sight, per se. We'll see how it goes so far, as the first step, of course, is going to be opening up this plat wall. Force throws out Electroclaw, looking to make it difficult for the team, maybe even try and deal with Stomach Chargers, but good thing Vivid was a bit quick on not finishing that animation, is able to pull off and not lose the next Stomach Charge, and Inro's just going to go to work. Wow, he made quick work for the wall.
Yeah, I was actually going to commend Forrest for predicting Vivid's placement of that exothermic, but again, Vivid just thought even a couple steps further ahead of the of what Forrest was doing. They managed to open the wall just by mavericking it open, and Giddy gets a kill on a Psychosis as well. So Plaid Roll opened up at about when it normally is. You've gotten a kill. They're moving to open up those garage walls. There is Forrest playing down below, so Twist has some support, but the wall that Forrest was sitting in front of is blown to smithereens, and he will run with his tail between his legs back to site.
At this point now, it's forced to ping out Rafters, to playing out the player of Twist playing Rafters. He's by himself. Grenades coming out on his position. Well, I think it looks like it was caught by a magnet. He's going to pull back into the corner. But this is a scary position. Should have plat one open. Kendo's going to push right through. Nobody's holding red for him. He's going to push right behind that. Gets shot down by Twist, who he thought he was there. That was interesting.
Yeah, unfortunately, maybe Kento getting a little bit ahead of the game there might have had an opening, but it was all for naught, and they let Bio get away with highway robbery with that kill onto Vivid. He just sneaks on in through Swamp, takes down Vivid. The Giddy could still make this a 3v2. Twist just barely escapes the shrapnel from the nade exploding to his left. 2 players now enter garage, and Inrio domes him with the M4. Bio still tucked down below, makes this a 1v3 on the site, and Rudy running out of Shumika grenades. He does have that C4, and we're in another situation where if the attack just lets Bio do what he wants and not be denied, he got a kill because of that earlier. He could get a second one this go around. Rudy can still delay a little bit of time with those Shumika grenades as Giddy creeps on into the site. Newers knows there's one's red. He tags Rudy up just a little bit. Can't land the shots, but with a little bit of a lengthier pre-fire and a second kill onto Bio. We're on round number 4. The Dallas Vendetta have won straight.
Wow, that was a round right there where it looked like there were some parts. You saw some good parts from West Garfield. Still, Giddy getting the first pick on a Psychosis. Still early round kills for Dallas Vendetta. We saw at least Twist and Bio take back some kills, like as you saw, because Kento just kind of rushed in, thinking he could catch Twist off guard on rafters. Swings the wood away, thinking maybe someone's swinging from that, from that cash side. Twist gets that pick. Bio is able to walk in through swamp into garage, find a pick of his own. Great. But Newer is still able to cause havoc elsewhere in a misdirection coming from construction. And from there, having control rafters, only 2 players left. Sure, it's 1 C4. You have Rudy on Tachanka with the incendiary grenades, but you're still in a 2v4 at that point. I think it was actually 2v3 at that point. So with his dead, and Raptors control, there's only so much you can do, and Newers is going to push past the fire. He's going to pressure Rudy so Rudy can't stomp the plants. And once you kill Rudy, sure, there's a C4 in Bao's hand, but that point with control of sight, they can play anywhere. The C4 isn't important anymore because there's not enough intel to make that C4 count. So at that point, Bao has to push sight. He loses the fight to Newers. And now in a 4-1, could be a 5-1 half. We're back on bar and stage.
I'm on a bar stage again.
10 seconds to go.
Interesting.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb. 5 seconds.
Benny, I want to be honest with you. I didn't mean to delve into a southern accent there. I just said stage really weird by sheer accident and tried to roll it off as natural.
I thought maybe you were going to say bar stock, and that's why you said you had to fix yourself mid-sentence and say stage like that.
I think that's what I tried to do, and that's why I said stage. But then I try to make it seem like it was a bit. But no, I just
put some stank on that stage.
I thought it'd be funnier if I acknowledged my mistake.
Hey, it worked though. I'm laughing. You got me laughing. Twist getting some early pressure from above as they opened up that wall with the buck, and he just passed by Vivid, who's going to open up that stage wall. So this time around, stage opened up real quick compared to previously.
Well, I mentioned that one time that Kento and Aerial Arise, back when he was on there, failed to attack bar stage. They did the opposite of this. They tried to take it from strip side, full clear the roam, that sort of thing. Here, what Outlast did successfully when I saw... I keep bringing up this Outlast Wichita game because it's the only time I've casted a bar stock defense. Or bar stage defense. Hate myself. A bar stage defense. It's one of the only times I've casted it. When it worked, they opened up that wall leading from stock onto stage, and then they half clear the roam up top, kept them contained over inside a master bedroom, and then went for a plant.
Yeah, I think if they open up this single con wall facing construction, or the construction wall facing bedroom, at that point they can make sure nobody plays the hatch, and if they have that control, then just using that control of stock on the stage to clear out that clear out any shields, clear any people on site, go for that plant, and force these roamers to try and take those fights. And we've seen Newers, he's watching for the clear. Giddy jumps right in the lounge. He takes that pick. Rudy's got one of his own. He trades it back, but Newers jumps right into the bedroom, takes down Twist, has control of bedroom, and takes down Rudy as well.
Well, here comes the boom from Newers. 2 kills for him so far, just vaulting in through bedroom window. And now this is the problem, because Psychosis might be in kitchen. Forrest? Okay, actually, this actually is an issue. Forrest is in stock. The attack likely knows his position is there, but if he wins that fight, which he does, now the entire execute Dallas Vendetta wanted to go for a little bit more difficult now that Forrest is standing directly in your way, impeding your path to victory. They can certainly rotate, move over to something more focused over by bar and billiards instead of over by stage, but that means there's still Psychosis in kitchen, who, if they've not droned him out, could make this a 2v2 if Newers is not careful. You might know there's somebody playing there. As Psychosis continues to wait patiently, Forrest is creeped back on in. He exchanges a glance with Vivid before a nade is exchanged for it, and there's Psychosis finally having an impact. He takes down Newers. Vivid taking a lot of damage inside of the site as well, downed on the floor. Inrio makes this a 1v1, but Forrest is playing it patiently. He's biding his time. Can Inrio get it? No, Forrest plays it perfectly. West Garfield Park win 2 defenses. And by God, they're both on bar and stage. What the hell just happened? What?
Oh my God, that was a 4-2 half for the attack where the only site they won was bar and
Benny?
stage.
I could feel like I
Oh
could say
my God.
with some confidence, I don't think we'll ever cast that again.
I don't think it will either. The fact that they won that both times, and this time around, the fact that even then, Dallas didn't even try to fix their mistakes. They opened up stage quickly. They had players go for that roam clear, but the fact that you see Kento retake stage, retake stock, and stop that full push and force Dallas Vendetta then to go for a different play, and then you have Psychosis sitting in kitchen, and then of course at the end of the round, there's only so much intel you have.
Yeah.
So Psychosis can stay unaware inside of kitchen, deal with Newers, who's been the main player, the main fragger for the team, and then force the last two players to try and bring it back with no time left.
It was that late round intel that did them in at the end, because the adjustment was a sound one. It was just Forest and, well, Psychosis as well, going unchecked. That was the big issue. Dallas didn't have the right play. Just failed because of that lack of late round intel. They're on the defense now, still got a 4-2 half, and they will try an extended roam for their first attempt. And what they will do, they will reinforce Jacuzzi wall. Or no, never mind. Wait,
Nope.
I was about to say. Normally when I see plat wall reinforced and electrified, we also see Jacuzzi wall reinforced and electrified. That's what they'll do. So they're putting a lot of their resources in delaying time off the site, obviously, but like even more so than you would normally see.
Yeah, we saw from West Garfield, they had a similar approach, but they brought the Legion, they had Psychosis on the Malusi, so there was still the same thing, but there wasn't quite the investment on intel denial, which is really what these defenses are kind of built on when it comes to the roam, is making sure that it takes forever to drone out these players, whether because you lose drones or you can't drone out the Vigil with the ERC. We'll see this time, because last time this happened, West Garfield Park on their defense on this roam, they were cut off immensely by Dallas Vendetta. We'll see if they can do the same to Dallas Vendetta, as Forrest is just creep walking up the stairs. Does he see the head? He can't finish the kill though. Giddy stays alive. Where's the rest to help out Forrest if he can get this pick? Because at this point, the rest of the defenders are just going to bail.
Now, there's no help from Forrest, but Kento, he jumped the moment that he saw Giddy taking damage. He went there to help, and now he's going to get aggressive. Z-ping, a default cam left up, assuming outside. Kento was able to open things up with a kill on the bio on the Thermite. Brutal to start things out, but West Garfield still have a couple resources in their arsenal. Right as I say that, it's Rudy who I was going to talk about. With the Ace, combined with Forrest on the Maverick, they still have plenty of hard-reaching utility to open up these hatches, especially if some of them have been left soft or opened up.
Oh, that was a cut off from the side of Rudy, and scared there, because yeah, the fact that Kento was able to just run out with intel and kill Bio. I don't know if it was default camp, it was. Oh, there was a grave mistakes made by West Garfield. But so far, at least they've wasted utility, they've wasted time on this roam. Giddy maybe on low HP, but there's still C4s in hand. He's still the smokes on Vivid. Now it's down to West Garfield Park, and actually I say that Giddy's still upstairs inside of Freezer. What?
Twist clearly knows he might be there, and now he's dead.
Oh, they're all on site.
Ha ha ha! A bold play. Actually, I think the
Who
line
did
is
that?
actually
Was
a
it
bold
Forrest who
claim.
did that last time? Actually, were you just inside of kitchen?
And
all of a sudden,
actually might have been Forrest. I'm not too sure
Yeah.
though. Unfortunately, obviously, Giddy putting himself in a bit of a tricky situation. It is only 30 seconds left for West Garfield.
Oh.
They made it a 3v3. Psychosis also taking a hell of a lot of damage. So Dallas Vendetta, even if it was a 3v4, would still be in a solid position to hold this out because of West Garfield still not having the most secure of openings. Vivid also having a lot of this utility. Now that it is a 3v3, he sends out his final toxic canister, and the important thing here, it's delaying some time, but Psychosis has moved past that barricade. But now he's the only one left. So my praise is unfortunately targeted on a very limited sample size that in all reality was not representative of how that round was going for West Garfield Park.
so did they jump down kitchen hatch and he got both of those picks? Is that what happened?
I don't know. What do you think?
I wonder, because
You
it
think
did
so?
seem like, because he was playing Ashwell, he was playing Arsenal, so I wonder if they went down kitchen hatch and that's how he got those picks. But either way, that was a round where the roam game, sure, it didn't get the kills it needed to, but it wasted time and it wasted utility. Bio going down early, sure, you still have Ace, you still have Mavericks, you still have some hard breaching available, but essentially the time wasted, you don't have the time available to really use the Maverick to its full potential. And on top of that, using the Selmos are the fastest way, and you only have 3. Using them hatches is kind of a waste. And I think they went on that kitchen hash, which then at that point you had to force, West Garfield into a play. So you're losing players early. It was a 3v3 at that point. You forced them into a jump down kitchen hatch, forced them into being running down main stairs and trying to find picks. With the walls still closed up, with players still playing Arsenal because they haven't pushed back into Arsenal. It's a doomsday scenario for West Garfield. So we go on to our next defense with CCTV and Cash.
Surprised we haven't seen Bar Stage so far, as it appears to be the talk of the town between Dallas Vendetta, or just West Garfield, who might be brick walling it with their love of Bar Stage. Dallas Vendetta moving over towards CCTV and Cash. We actually will see, and Benny, I also can't believe I'm saying this, we're seeing a Jaeger broad, which we did not see from West Garfield Park. We just saw the Wamai, which made it a little bit difficult, a little bit more difficult to hold garage and deal with those nades. Of course, that wasn't what did the Wamai in the end. There was some pressure to help from Swamp and CCTV as well. But here, now you can be a little bit more focused on, say, Platwall or other areas by having those ADSs and those magnets on rafters.
Yeah, it should be an easier time for Newer to stay alive here, as Bio's going to use one extra charge first to open up the garage wall, as the other one's electrified by the electrical. Actually, this one's muted, and he looks like he put it too far down. It should be able to be high enough. But he actually put it sideways. Does that change the radius if you put it sideways like that, actually?
Whatever it is scared Bio.
Bio just says, no, I'm not even trying even.
Bio says,
Forrest, at least,
you've defeated me.
You stopped me. I guess we have to go for a split take instead.
Unlucky.
Located by attackers.
They can obviously go for a split take. He'll instead focus on the plow wall, which, if you're Thermite, honestly, makes sense. Still usually use the exothermic to open up that wall anyway, so this is not like, oh, some massive waste of utility.
Wow.
That is a very good pick. I'm actually not even sure where Psychosis got it from. Was that also from CC window? No, that was from down below watching the main door. Caught Inrio, perhaps rotating? Maybe lurking? Who knows?
Oh, now it's open.
Yeah, I was about to say, most important thing, though, Bio has opened up that wall leading into garage, and now, with that opening kill into Inrio, they'll feel a lot more comfortable putting some pressure on Newers.
Newers, oh, he does see the head of Rudy over by Plant, but can't find the pick. He's trying to get aggressive. Here's the grenade below him. It looks like Twist is just trying to bait out the kill, and Newers will go for it. He gets a kill off of it, at least on the Bio, but Twist is able to refrag. It's still looking good for West Garfield, though. They have control rafters now. They have control plat wall. So now it's going to be baiting on some utility when there are any C4s left, which there's still 3 smokes, 1 C4 for Giddy and Vivid to stop the plants.
Yeah, a lot of post-plant utility, but West Garfield have a lot of time to burn it out, so that's the issue. You have to balance, do we want to try to bank it on making these smoke canisters in the C4 work, or do you want to maybe send Kento to try to make a play, go make it 3-3, and then focus a lot on the utility? It's a difficult balancing act, a difficult tightrope to walk right now, and they take one option and it doesn't pay off. Vivid makes it 1-for-1, makes it a trade, but there's Giddy, who finally makes it impactful, suddenly smokes Rudy off the face of the earth by taking a quick peek around green box, and Forrest is left stun-locked. What the hell just happened? I try to push on in, and Giddy just shuts us all down. We're on match point now, and the round just suddenly collapsed in front of their eyes.
Was that a 4K for Giddy? No, that was a 3K, wasn't it? Because I think Vivid got a kill too, actually. Still, crazy round for Giddy, Vivid. And that was like really, at the beginning, it was just deal with Newers first. Unfortunately, Inrio gets picked up by Psychosis holding the main door. Newers has to go for a crazy play because he's getting pressured from grenades, from plays underneath him with flashes of grenades. So he just jumps off. He goes 1-for-1 at least. Takes down Bio. Still makes it, still evens it up, keeps it possible for Dallas Vendetta. But at that point, it's up to West Garfield Park to try and bait out those C4s. Try to go for that plant and try and bait out those smokes. But out the C4s and go for the plant. With a minute left, they could do so. But instead of that, I'm not sure if they started peeking or what, but they started just going through and trying to take fights rather than going for the plant. Well, Giddy and Vivid, well, Giddy specifically, was happy about that. It took every single fight. Giddy won 3. Vivid took one of his own, and there's the end of the round right there for West Garfield.
Again, shame we're not seeing a bar stage defense, but we'll instead go to gym bedroom as what could be the final sight. Newers had an extremely quiet map number 2, in that he got 2 kills. And now, between maps 1 and 3,
10 seconds remaining.
Newers has 27 kills. No, 37 kills.
Yeah, 37. Those say 10 off.
Yeah. And now here, those 15 kills he has between 8 rounds. That's almost 2 kills a round that Newers has been going. Again, it's not that Dallas Vendetta's win condition is Newers, but to say he's been instrumental in their success this series on maps 1 and 3 would be an understatement.
Yeah, I'd say, like, especially because you saw map 2. They were 7-1 on map 2, and Newers was 2-7. It's just that Newers has been doing so much for this team so far. Not saying that people like, you know, Vivid or Giddy or anyone aren't doing their due diligence too, but wow, he is doing a lot. C4 thrown out was actually pre-placed on the hatch, but Twitch is going to open it. C4 drops, doesn't get a kill. To that point, they go to C4. And wanted to see West Garfield at this point focus, but I say that there it is, a focus on that CCTV red stairs. Kento goes down, maybe playing a bit too aggressive in CCTV. And the next person will probably be a player inside of Cash to get pushed back, but I assume at that point, Dallas Vendetta will pull back at that point.
They've gotten that early bit of control, or at least opened up the doorway to acquiring it by stealing Kento's life that early on. Forrest will also take and open the jacuzzi wall a little bit, just a little bit calmly. Not too worried. Saw Inrio open up that wall, but dramatic irony. We know what happened, but Forrest doesn't know, and nothing came of it, so he doesn't need to worry all too much. The attack, it's just been going about their game plan. They got a kill on a Kento, which they might not have expected to happen so quickly, and now they're just doing the rest of their attack without facing many hindrances.
Yeah, it's opening up walls, taking the time. Vivid's looking for a C4, but it woes again, just like we saw last time from the side of West Grove Park. Doesn't get a kill, but Twist will get a kill on the Newers. Down goes another player, the instrument fragger we've been talking about. And now at this point, with that 2 kills and they control both Jacuzzi and maybe CCTV, this could be a great start. But again, maybe logic control will be big here, because or if they open a bathroom, they can find some more of these defenders and pick them off.
Enrio falls. Vivid tries to get mobile on that bedroom window. Doesn't matter. It's a flawless round for West Garfield Park, as they do stave off defeat for just a little bit longer. But there's still, we said this on Villa, there's still a hill to climb. They've climbed it already, Benny. Who's to say they can't do it here?
I'm about to say, yeah, back on Villa. They came back a 5-1 and made it even. They could do the same here. Only got to get up, only got 3 more rounds. 3 more rounds on the attack here. And we'll see, you know, if we, how we do here. Because, yeah, Newers has been, like we said before, instrumental in a lot of these rounds, and he went down early this round. Didn't have much of an impact. We saw nobody else on West Garfield, on Dallas Vendetta could also even put in a play there. Kento went down early. Newers went down early. Nobody else could even fight back in a sense against West Garfield. So is Newers that win condition per se?
I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that Newers is a win condition. However, nah, he's not. I'm just kidding. No, I don't think he's necessarily a win condition. I mean, we did see, after all, the round that got them to match point was a big clutch by Vivid and Giddy. Newers has not been a win condition in this game, where it's been just a solid carry. Enrio's been doing very well. Giddy's been doing very well. Vivid's been doing his job. It's only been Kento that has been underperforming a little bit. And sure, Newers has gone huge, but I still think everyone from Dallas Vendetta is relatively doing their job. On basement as well, this was still a very, you know, a solid roam from a lot of Dallas Vendetta. Sure, we had that like odd situation with Giddy, inside a kitchen, but it was still the on-site players that mainly made it work. And obviously that includes Newers, but it was still a team effort.
But either way, the big thing, even if the roam wasn't too fantastic, is wasting time and wasting utility. Exactly. I think this is the round that Kento ran out and killed Bio, so they were low on heart breaching too. So this is kind of the big thing. They can replicate that same issue, deal with one of the heart breachers, whether it be Forrest or Bio. As I say, Forrest takes heavy damage holding the repel on the side of chain link. Can't find any kills there, and he does bit damage there. Looks like they're trying to cut off any members trying to push back the site, as they're going to open up CCTV and open Jacuzzi probably.
We'll see Bio go for one of those two. He's opened up CCTV wall. It's where Kento, or the area generally where Kento is playing right now, but as the wall opens up, he'll start making his way back over towards master bedroom, where no one from the attack, I believe, is watching right now. Rudy might be. sitting on the rappel, watching a similar angle. Kento will swing out right as he hears someone walking through, but Bio on red catches him completely off guard. He cannot rotate back successfully. Now Dallas Vendetta, in all likelihood, Henry's already downstairs. Giddy's going to join him pretty soon.
It looks like, yeah, Forrest isn't on the rappel anymore, so they should be able to return to site. Newers will strike back, though. Down goes Bio, and he's had an important, like, he's been getting kills, but it also needs that exothermic charge for the push later on, because otherwise just Forrest with the other heart breaching. So they could be still be gated in that same situation we saw before on the site. But Rudy, long shot from there onto Newers in return. And that's a big one. If they can now clear oil pit and take control blue.
This is also problematic because Inrio is still in bar. He might be able to play 1-for-1, and indeed he does. A long angle for a long angle, but not a confirmed kill for a confirmed kill. Rudy made it a 3v4, but Inrio's only down twist, and he's certainly in a position West Garfield could pick him up. It'll take a little bit of time, but they might have to rotate over.
Maybe they won't.
It's looking that's what I was about to say. They might actually not go for him. Forrest has already made his way in dirt. Psycho and Rudy are both moving towards the site. Rudy especially, they might make this a 3v3 and it might not matter. Rudy's gone unred and blue on the prone angle. He takes down one and is looking for his third in the round so far, but Vivid puts him on the floor before Psycho finishes him off. There's Inrio. You might regret not clearing him out of bar, as he might send you packing and send you out of the playoffs. Forrest has control of the diffuser. Rudy might be down. There's no chance he's picking him back up. Or maybe he just might. He's crept behind the generator, and Inrio lets him cross. He doesn't have any impacts, but he can catch them both coming off! Dallas Vendetta win the series 2-1, and they send the Pro Pug Stack packing, as they are our first team to move to the semifinals.
Oh, what a match that was, though. We had some close first map, but then not so close second and third. Still, 7-3, looking good for Dallas Vendetta, and we had at least, hey, West Garfield Park tried to bring him back, but there's only so much you can do against some of these gunners like Newers, Inrio, or Giddy.
It was a good try by West Garfield Park, especially on map number 1, where it was a very close OT victory for Dallas Vendetta. And after a 7-1 victory for West Garfield Park on the next map, it's very possible that in an alternate universe, they are the victors of this match, had just a couple things in map number 1 gone their way. But Dallas Vendetta, obviously we had Newers heating up being one of the big moments of that. But even then, as we said, it was not a win condition. It was not Newers win round. Everyone from Dallas Vendetta was generally doing their parts, putting in the work, especially on that map. And, you know, it was helped by a 22 bomb from Newers earlier on in the series.
I about to say, yeah, if they just won that first defense in overtime, because we saw that Villa was mainly defense-sided, but Dallas Vendetta broke the trend. They won that first defense of AVG against West Garfield and put themselves to win the second defense and win that map. Because like you said, in an alternate universe, if, you know, West Garfield had played that defense similarly and won that once again, this could have been their win. They could have won 2-0 after Chalet. But hey, anything's happened per se. But still, great job to Dallas Vendetta. Much more dominating win to call back, to answer back to their 7-1 on Chalet.
As you can see, some of the clips you can see coming through here. I will say, maybe Newers dropped off that balcony a little bit early, but I do admire when I see the Raptors players try and go for that aggressive play. And of course, congratulations to Dallas Vendetta. They move forth in the semifinals. We will have an interview with their coach, Pedro Fernandez, who many have said is worthy of going all the way to the league for the work he puts in for this team. We'll be able to talk to him and pick his brain over this victory. So, Pedro, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Got a win. I can't complain about it. Yeah. I'm good.
Well, I want to address this right off the bat, and I'm sure you've been asked this plenty of times, but he dropped 22 kills map 1 and damn near 20 kills on map number 3.
Yeah.
Just what has Newers done for your team? Not in the lobby necessarily, but behind the scenes, what we might not see.
Hey,
I know he brings aggression, but
he's
what else
next up. He's next up. What I was gonna say, as soon as we first tried him out, like it was like you can see it. Like he's just different. He's way too different than the new crew. And can't do anything about it. He just chews and he kills. He gets his kills.
Well, that is certainly so. And also, one thing that I know we talked about before, you know, Villa was a map that you guys did not really like all too much for quite a long time on Investigation File. But my memory does serve correctly. But it's been a map that you guys have kind of let go in the pool a little bit more often. You've also been leaning a bit more towards Chalet. Have the new pickups of Kento and Newers made you guys a little bit more keen to go to maybe some of those more fast-paced, aggressive maps?
For sure. Like we had a really tough situation on Villa, especially like stage 2, stage 3. We couldn't play it that much. We had to bend it every time, really. And now we're just trying to like switch things up. We got new players, we got new play styles, and we're trying different things. And we're just some maps clicks better than others, right? And right now we're trying Villa. Like people are picking Villa against this. And that's something that we expected to happen, and we're just working to make sure that we're gonna be good on it when they pick us. Pick it.
And of course, I mean, there are a lot of players on Dallas Vendetta who many have said should probably be going to the league. I mean, you even said Newers has been nutty. I mentioned as we were in an interview that your coaching ability has been lauded. How is it to play in SCS, you know, during the off season where pretty much everything, save for SCS right now, is kind of on, not really a bye, but on a little bit of a break? How is this as an opportunity to kind of showcase your all skill just throughout some more best of threes and some more Rainbow Six?
Yeah, for sure. This is like a period in Siege where you don't really have anything to play for. Like, there's people playing Invite, but of course, like, we're not there yet. So having SCS to play for is really like give us something to grind for, and like keeps us practicing and making sure we're ready whenever CL comes. So it's great to have this SCS here.
Well, congratulations on the victory, Pedro. I know most of us predicted, save for Jonah, he's the odd traitor in the bunch, but we're all excited to see you guys continue to grow and develop with the new rosters. You guys are our first team to move forward in the playoffs. So anything you want to say before we sign off?
I just want to shout out to Dallas Vendetta. They've been a great org. Shout out to everyone's watching at home. Like, and we see you guys supporting on Twitch chat, and just know that we're working hard to make it to the playoffs. And we want to make the Pro Am, and like, yeah, just working on it.
Well, I'm glad that you guys have managed to break the new org curse and actually win games after getting picked up by the new org. So congrats on the victory. Looking forward to see you in the semifinals.
Okay, thank you. Have a good one.
We want to take a look at some of the stats as well. Surprise, surprise. Newers did well. You don't need me to tell you that.
Hey, Inyo did well too, though. It was, as you said, it wasn't too crazy. Sure, they had to pick up a bit for Kento per se, but Giddy, Inrio, Vivid having the chances to also play a great role, play their role, get some frags, and do well compared to even with Newers not really caring as much as the first map. As we also saw for West Garfield Park, Twist was also having a very solid map number 3, especially that 4K he had in round number 1. Part of the reason they won that bar stock defense. Kind of asked, I asked Pedro about, what's it like as an opportunity to, showcase the skill of many players showcase the skill of both players and staff that people have said have NAL potential. Twist is one of those players that I think definitely recently has made a name for himself, at the very least, to go into CL with his performance on teams like FPL Queens and West Garfield Park as well. He's a top 2 player in the overall series. Our highlight player of Forest actually having a little bit of a worse game, but Forest is a good player when it's a little bit of a worse game when he just goes even. So yeah, he still was, even if he wasn't fragging out like he usually does, he still was doing really good, still doing his job in more than that as you expect. So I still think even you saw Rudy though go off. He tried his best too. Got some kills there. Twist though on the entry 6 and 3 was great to see. So I think all these players they play a pug stack, but they're showing they still have potential in the Rainbow Six scene. Definitely still a lot of potential, but unfortunately their potential is cut short in the playoffs. Again, Dallas Vendetta will take them off the board and they move forward. We'll take a look at the bracket real quick as, of course, they have moved on. They will play the winner of Chess Club versus Wichita Wolves, a matchup that I believe I voted Chess Club, but I will say if Wichita Wolves can keep the streak they're going, we're actually, kind of able to deal with some aggression. I might be wrong. I might not be entirely correct. But of course, we have our next matchup of the night, Benny. A matchup that I'm actually quite sad that I'm not casting. It's Karn & Co. versus Wichita Wolves Academy. And normally, if this were literally 2 months ago, I would probably say if you got me in a room in private that game would be a snooze fest. But now that Karn & Co. are in their new form, Harrison and Jonah are going to have a great time. But of course, before we go, as Benny, we always got to do it. We always got to shout out one of our sponsors. This case is Mike and Ike's. I won't keep you too long. You know what I like to say. I like my original, my Mega Mix. Not so much the sour. But if you want any kind of Mike and Ike's, go to your nearest store, be it convenience or supermarket, whatever suits your fancy, whatever's open. I know a lot of the country's frozen right now, so you might have to wait a couple days, but when you do, go and get some fruity, chewy flavors to mega yourself up and bear through the winter storm, the winter cold. Mike and Ike's will comfort you. And they'll also comfort us by sponsoring some beautiful Rainbow Six. But that is all for Benny and I for the night. You have anything to say, Benny, before we go? I'm excited for the next game.
I'm also excited for the next game, so I will toss it over to Harrison and Jonah for Kern & Co. versus Wichita Wolves Academy to see who will be team number 2 to advance to the semifinals.
Have to get aggressive. Breeze looking for it, and he'll get it.
Have to push for the kill. You have to kill them at least.
Transfers on 1 on 3. What a passion! It's